everything. We said from point A, get to point F. A goes to B, B then goes back to C.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the
and it'll be cleaner and crisper. Anytime you have multiple jumps, it's a problem, no matter what you're dealing with.
I mean, like the soccer game we did the other day, you know, late call, but because we had replay, you've seen when we do replay, certain alpha. Here, we were like, what are you doing to us?
All right, they're going to jump. You want to switch this game?
Oh, shut up. I guess I can do the reads and take those on me.
Yeah, there you go.
And I can do some ad-libbing reads.
There you go.
And I was a 16-year official. I know the game. With a 236 lifetime hitter in high school.
There you go.
Good glove. Let me put it this way. I was being pitch hit a lot.
Yeah. I mean, look at the team average.
Oh.
So.
Advantages we have is trying behind the ball.
Good afternoon and welcome to the SAU field here in Bedford, New Hampshire for today's NHIAA baseball action between the Goffstown Grizzlies and your Bedford Bulldogs here on BCTV. I'm Jason Bergeron here at first base field level with BCTV's very own Bill Jennings. Bill, this is going to be a fun game. Thank you so much for joining me here and, well, A, for having me and now for joining me on the broadcast. This is going to be amazing.
It has been my aspiration, my goal, my hope that I would have the opportunity to stand beside you, the golden one.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, there's Lauren Fox and there's Corey Munster-Tiger, and I say the same thing to them when I put the hits in.
Right, okay.
But you're the only one here right now to call a baseball game, and I absolutely love baseball. Played it, was an official here with the NHIAA for 15 years. Look at it from all different perspectives, not just from a player's perspective, a coach's perspective, but knowing the game, knowing the rules, how these officials are positioned, it's going to be fun. And we're looking at two teams that are somewhat evenly matched. I think both Goffstown and Bedford thought they would have better records by now. We have Goffstown at 7-6 and Bedford at 5-5. And I hate to say this right now, but we have covered Bedford high school football. I'm sorry, baseball.
Goffstown, yeah, 6-2.
5-5. You just changing something.
5-5 for Bedford, but Goffstown 6-2 right now.
Oh,
this one.
Well, I guess I read that line wrong. That will happen every once in a while, the rookie that I am. But let's go back to Bedford. They're kind of like a conundrum. They've got so much talent.
Yeah.
But they're 5-5, and I know you can speak to some of the reasons. But one thing, I hope we're not a jinx. We've covered them 4 times, starting with BG, Portsmouth, Nashua South, and we didn't cover the Merrimack game, didn't cover the Londonderry game, but every time we cover them, they lose. So
yeah.
I hope they change.
Well, if that's the case, we're gonna break that curse today. That's the hope, at least, right? But yeah, Goffstown comes into this game. They're 6-2 on the season. They've started out exactly as people expected. What's really fun about this matchup specifically is that these are teams that kind of from basically 8 years old to now through your high school career, you're playing against Goffstown, and Goffstown-Bedford rivalry starts in Little League and kind of continues on. And we'll kind of talk through that a little bit as this game progresses. But first and foremost, let's just talk a little bit about the pitcher today for Bedford. He's going to be on the mound, Charlie Cariello. He comes into this game having pitched 3 games so far. He's 2-1 on the season. He's only allowing batters to hit .211 off of him, so really good. And when this game's already in play, Logan Simmons is the leadoff hitter for Goffstown. First pitch swinging, he pulls a hard ground ball out to right field, and he's going to lead this off with a single.
I think anytime a batter comes to the plate, particularly if it's the beginning of the game, you're looking for fastballs fastball, and he just got it.
He just got that first pitch fastball. Logan Simmons is a good hitter. He's been around for a long time, and he's going to hit that first pitch fastball each and every time. So top of the first inning here, no score. First batter is Logan Simmons. He gets on the base pass already with a hard single, and then the catcher Braden Lambert for Goffstown steps to the plate, and Cariello throws him a strike. So right away Cariello is going to be in the zone. That's the type of pitcher he is. Again, as I say, he's allowing batters to hit 211 off of him. So far in this game, batters are 1 for 1, but we'll see Cariello really work the game well. He holds his poise very well and will continue to throw good pitches throughout the game.
Now I know Bedford platoons their catches. Maggie Fox usually goes with Aiden O'Connell. Is this the arrangement with this catcher? Who's the catcher behind the plate?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the arrangement per se. This is Henry Dubois, so freshman Henry Dubois is
Which
catching.
is always unusual for a freshman to make a varsity team.
He's a special talent for sure, and he's a kid that is coming up and learning the game here at the high school level and continues to progress every single game. That pitch is fouled off to Lambert. We've talked about this many times on our broadcast so far, but his first game as a freshman this year, he got up in Keene in a 1-0 game. We were leading 1-0, bases were loaded, and he hit a home run out of Keene's park, and I mean, it was a bomb. So, it's just one of those things. As he continues to grow and progress as a player, he's going to be something special here in Bedford for many years to come. 1-2 your count here to Lambert. Lambert fouls.
That looks like it may jump right into no man's land.
Yeah, it's going to be fouled off. So Lambert, 1-2 count here, working well against Cariello. Cariello continues to throw strikes here, but we don't have many stats here on the Goffstown lineup. We just know that we know them from knowing them in the Little League years and kind of their high school progression. They're all very, very good hitters, and their pitcher today is also a very good pitcher. So,
but one stat you corrected me on right away that we have is that they're 6-2.
They're 6-2.
I wish they were 7-6, but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. There's a curveball from Cariello, and again a foul by Braden Lambert. So Braden Lambert putting together what we call a quality at bat here. 1-2 the count to him. No score early in the first inning. Just the second batter of the game. If you're just joining us here on BCTV, I'm Jason Bergeron here with Bill Jennings and Andrew Fenn on the camera today, and this is going to be a good game. If you're in the area Friday afternoon, stop on down the SAU field, because this is one of the first games you don't have to wear a jacket. So that's nice to see. Ooh, that pitch just missed. So
what I'm seeing so far is that he's got a fastball off speed, and he does have a slight breaking ball. I haven't seen anything else. Of course, from this angle, it's always difficult.
Yeah, no.
I mean, one of the earlier pitch in the pitch sequence, when the steal was fouled off, he did have a breaking ball, which slows things down. So
yeah. He definitely works methodically too. As you'll notice, he's very poised on the mound. So he does work. He has a fastball. He works really well. He has a very good curveball. When that curveball is working, it's a very, very tough pitch to hit. Part of the reason that hitters are only hitting 211 off of him so far this year, and he's picked up 2 wins. So
good stat to know.
He's done very, very well so far. So here's the 2-2 pitch. Runner takes off. Simmons, another foul. We are moving into really good at bat here. There's a 7 pitch at bat here. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat coming up to Braden Lambert. Again, top of the first inning here, no score. Runner on first is Logan Simmons for Goffstown. Charlie Cariello on the mound, working with his battery mate Henry Dubois behind the plate for Bedford. And here again comes the 2-2 pitch. I think I said that 4 times already this at bat, and that ball is fouled off.
Another off-speed pitch.
Yeah, so you can tell he's way ahead of that curveball, and he may work off that curveball a little bit here. Maybe a high fastball coming next, depending on what the coaches are calling. Going over the rest of the Bedford lineup here in the field. Left field is Danny Black, Dominic Tagliaferro center field, and Bowden Smith playing right field today. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's that fastball, and it is popped way up. Henry Dubois, a long run. First baseman Nolan Arnold coming over. Just can't make the play. In foul ground. It was a long run for Nolan. It looked like Henry Dubois was there, but Nolan may have called him off.
What he has to do is he has to call his guy off. That's because he's a freshman right now, because he's coming towards the ball, and the pitcher, yeah, he's coming, but it's he lost kind of track of it.
So the 10th pitch of the at-bat here coming up for Braden Lambert. Everybody's going to reset. Henry Dubois put the mask back on. Going over the rest of the infield group, Jack Hinton over at third base, Carter Crowley at shortstop, Patrick Foulis after pitching yesterday in Merrimack playing second base, and Nolan Arnold at first base today. And here's that 2-2 pitch again. And he strikes him out. Looking, it was a late call there by the umpire, but that's going to be the first K for Charlie Cariello today, and a great at bat there by Lambert, but a great pitching duel there won by Charlie Cariello.
Haven't been behind the plate, and the way these guys are trained. You take a look at the pitch coming down, you look, you reflect quickly, and you call it, and then the motion comes out. So he's calling strike, and then the arm's coming out. So
and we may not hear it because we get the headset on, so we're not seeing that. But again, that's okay. We'll just, as we watch these games and progress, we end up kind of picking up on the nuances, so to say, of the umpiring staff that you have in front of you. And this one here will be a little bit of a delayed call with the motion. The hitter now for Goffstown is Ryan Strand. He'll be playing left field today for Goffstown, and he fouls that first pitch off.
And I might want to add, he might have been in his mind flipping a coin.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. The next time that coin flips the other way, you just never know. So 0-1 the count here to Ryan Strand, his first at-bat of the game. No score here, top of the first inning. Goffstown Grizzlies versus the Bedford Bulldogs down at the SAU field. So again, if you're in town and you're looking for something to do on this beautiful Friday night, stop on down to the field and support these Bedford Bulldogs as they take on the Goffstown Grizzlies. Always a well-attended, good matchup here. So 1-1 the count now to Strand. Here comes that 1-1 pitch, and instead it's another pickoff attempt. Logan Simmons is definitely a stolen base threat. He is fast.
That throw over there was just a reminder. I know you're there. I'm not taking my eye off you. I know you're there.
Yeah. Keep him working a little bit. Make sure that then he takes off right away. So that ball is a ball, and the throw is out. He got Henry Dubois with a great throw there. Foulis picks it up, puts the tag on Simmons, and that is the second out of the inning. Caught stealing is Logan Simmons for the second out.
That is the first time I've seen Dubois throw the ball down to second base. That kid's got an arm.
He has
and we got the perfect angle. It's like, I'm thinking, oh, he just stole on the pitcher. And he did. I would have said he stole on the pitcher. He got a great jump even before he got the ball out of his hands, but he was making his motion home. That was a great time to take off for second. Dubois, unbelievable.
And mind you, with that in mind, Henry Dubois last night, Bedford played Merrimack in a rain-delayed game. It was supposed to be Wednesday, ended up being Thursday, and Henry Dubois finished that game with the save. So he pitched the game tonight behind the plate. So that he is again just a freshman to watch here on this Bedford Bulldogs team for years to come.
You got to remind me how to pronounce the names, you French guys, like Dubois.
Dubois, yeah, Dubois.
Not Dubois.
Yeah.
Dubois,
yeah. So, there's strike three. Cariello strikes out Ryan Strand, and that's going to end the inning. 2 strikeouts for Cariello in the inning. 1 runner caught stealing. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors for Bedford, and we'll head to the bottom of the first inning here, and we'll see the Bedford lineup hit for the first time against their starting pitcher, Will Perkowski.
So you happen to mention the rivalry, Goffstown and Bedford. To give a little history, I've been in town for over 30 years, and back in 1995, I was part of the Bedford Little League board, and eventually, my son's last year in '97, I was the president of the Bedford Little League, and as I'm sure would take place down at the leagues, there was always people that got along, there was people that didn't get along, and if they say if you have 50% of the people that liked you and 50% that didn't like you, you were doing your job. But
doing a good thing.
But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story was when we went into postseason, Bedford Little League, it was always Goffstown that you had to go through, and vice versa. Don't get me wrong, there were some good teams, and most recently, Manchester North making it all the way down.
Yeah, Manchester North, Portsmouth, it's always the same Little League organizations, but there's no doubt there's a stronger bond, so to say, or competitive level between this Bedford Goffstown unit.
And I just think that I see it in all sports. You've seen it. But we didn't play Goffstown in hockey, which you cover mostly. They were in Division II.
Yeah.
And they were in Division I. But, the way we work, the NHIAA works in terms of who's in what division what year. Like, when they went down Goffstown to Division II a few years ago, it was heartbreaking for the people in Bedford because we lost a competitor, and they were good.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they've come back to Bedford, and we all looked at this one on our schedule and said, we're going to cover this.
We want to cover this game for sure. I mean, I remember, when my son was playing Little League and those games that just going down down to Goffstown, going in, coming into Bedford, having them come to us. Those games were just the most attended games. The people were everywhere, families were showing up, and that's what it's all about. And this is the same type of game. I expect this game here, as it progresses to after normal work hours, I think you're going to see a lot more people here at the field, and it's going to be a fun night down at the SAU. So if you're here, if you're in the area, come on down and support these Bulldogs. Or if you're here, if you're listening from the Grizzlies, come on down and listen and support them.
I need to add, because when I was officiating, I got to know a lot of Goffstown people, and even in the leagues. We're all in the Eastern region, and District 1. Goffstown parents, just like Bedford parents, so supportive of their teams, always there, always supporting with money, and just being there to root their kids on. They're a great group.
No doubt about it. So here we're back to action now. Bottom of the first inning, no score after that top of the first. Charlie Cariello pitched a great top of the first inning there. Will Perkowski takes the mound for Goffstown, and his battery mate will be Braden Lambert behind the dish. So the leadoff hitter here is Dominic Tagliaferro for Bedford. He is 1-1 on the count so far. His first pitch was a strike, second pitch a ball. Tagliaferro enters the game hitting .290 on the season. He's been basically the leadoff hitter all the way through, and if he gets on base, for those watching for the first time, you'll see why. I mean, his speed is unmatched in NHIAA so far. Again, just got to get him on base, and good things start to happen for this Bedford Bulldogs team.
He's got some heat, and he's also working off speed as well. The Lambert name, I just remember that Lambert name seems to filter all the way back to when I was in it, in through high school ball. There's the Lamberts, and the Goffstown people know better than I do, but I think one of their dads was even a coach or an uncle. I mean, it just seems to be that name, Lambert.
Yeah, you definitely see that, and you see that consistency through sports, right? You see some of the names that are just kind of constant in hockey, constant in baseball, basketball, and that brings to the plate Tagliaferro struck out looking there to Perkowski in his first at-bat, and you're going to see some electric stuff here out of Will Perkowski. He is definitely the ace of this squad here for Goffstown, and he is now facing former Goffstown high school player, now Bedford player, Aiden O'Connell. Aiden's going to be doing the DHing today for Charlie Cariello, so he'll be not manning the field, usually in right field or first base if he's not on the mound, but he will be DHing in today's game. So 0-1 the count here. Started him off with a curveball and a hard ground ball. It's going to be a race to the bag, and he's not going to win that one. So grounded out to third. He came into the game here hitting just a .531 coming into the game. Just tearing the ball, tearing the cover off the ball there. So
he's going to Northwestern.
He's going to Northwestern.
Is he going on a baseball scholarship or just going on?
I don't know all the details, but I know he's going there to play baseball. I don't know of scholarship and all of that, but I just know he's going there to play baseball. So got to believe there's something there.
Boy, did he have a great basketball season.
Oh yes, he did. Yeah, for sure. So that brings up the third hitter for Bedford. First, 2 outs here now. Bottom of the first inning. Nolan Arnold playing first base today, number 22. He's getting his first look at Will Perkowski on the mound, and again, Will Perkowski brings some electric stuff. So his batters are going to have to adjust, especially coming off the game last night, in which they faced a variety of pitchers, but the pitchers weren't throwing as hard. The velocity wasn't there in Merrimack, and they had to adjust to that. And once they finally adjusted to it, they got that big win in Merrimack last night, 7-6. Took 8 innings though. Took 8 innings.
It's like Wakefield coming in after let's say Chris Sales, and then Wakefield comes in with the knuckleballs, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, try to catch that after trying to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So a little tough here. So 2-1 your count to Arnold. Here comes the pitch from Perkowski. He swings through that one, just not able to catch it. That was a high fastball, and again, Perkowski brings some good velocity. So 2-2 to count. 2 outs here. Bottom of the first inning. NHIAA action between the Goffstown Grizzlies and the Bedford Bulldogs, and that's going to hit a car on a bounce just over our head. But
that's why I parked my car.
We had some fun with Harry Kozlowski the other day. That he was parked right behind the home plate, and there was a bunch of foul balls that were threatening his car. They didn't get it, but they were certainly threatening.
They had bets going, huh?
Yeah, we certainly did. We were having some fun with
DraftKings Bulldogs had the line going.
Exactly. So that ball is ripped, and that's going to be a hard hit ball, single by Nolan Arnold. He goes the other way with the pitch. A perfect at-bat there for Nolan Arnold, and a single for him. And now runner on first base brings up the four-hitter for Bedford, Danny Black. Playing left field today for Bedford, and he is the four-hitter for a reason. He's hitting .258 on the year. He's got 7 RBIs, though. Walks 4 times and struck out 6 times. And just when he gets a hold of one, he can definitely put some runs on the board quickly.
I'm just wondering on which pitch Billy's going to send him.
Yeah, I don't know. Nolan's speed, it depends on kind of where he is in the
He's not taking a big lead.
It doesn't look like a big lead, and the pitch is being delivered so fast to the plate that there's not much time there. But again, at some point you're going to test this catcher's arm. So Danny Black takes the first pitch strike there. 1 strike, 0-1 the count. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, and Perkowski steps off the mound there. So just recollecting himself. No score here early in the game. Again, Danny Black steps in here. His first at-bat of the game against Perkowski. And Lambert throws it down quickly, and Nolan gets back. So you've seen now his arm, which is good. Not one you're going to be wanting to steal against unless you got some
closer
speed.
to first.
Yeah, stealing may not be part of it. That was
Easy
a rocket.
to say for a fan or an observer. Say, did you go to second?
Exactly. So 1-1 the count. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That ball is low. So 2-1. Going over the rest of the Goffstown Grizzlies lineup in the field is Ryan Strand playing left field, Logan Simmons in center, Noah Durham in right field, Dutton at third, Poisson at shortstop, Jake Weber playing second base, Cam Hijack playing first base, and again, Will Perkowski on the mound with Braden Lambert doing the catching. 2-1 count. Ball hit hard on the ground. That's going to get through and get to right field. A high chopping ball by Danny Black, and it bounces over the first baseman's head into right field, and that's going to be another base hit for Danny Black.
I just saw it. He just shrugged as he got down, and Coach Fox went, I hit it.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't care how you get on base, just get on base.
Just get on base, and that's what the name of the game is.
Yeah,
so
and
now
if you don't swing the bat,
runner on first and second is...
you don't have that opportunity.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right. So runner on first and second now for Bedford, threatening here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 outs. The hitter is Jack Hinton, playing third base today, getting his first look at Will Perkowski, the pitcher for Goffstown. And here comes that first pitch, and a big move, Louis Tiant-like move there by Will Perkowski, looking back at the runner on second base, Nolan Arnold, and then grooves a nice strike there for strike 1 to Jack Hinton. Hinton comes into the game hitting 194, and 6 RBIs on the season for him, 3 walks, 7 Ks. Good cut there. He's down 0-2 quickly. He's
good. I like his windup because he actually is looking back at the guy at second and still maintaining his straight up position.
Yep.
And still throwing with velocity to the plate.
It's not quite as much as Louis Tiant back in the day, kind of twisting and turning back to the second baseman, but he's got quite a motion there, so a little less that time. So
yeah, basically when he's making the turn, he's not going all the way and he's not holding like Louis would. Hold it, hold it.
He would change his motions.
And how would he work, Louis Tiant, with today's clock?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. There's a lot of players that would be in a different area. So 1-2 the count here to Hinton. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, runners on first and second for Bedford, and Hinton swings through that one, and he is going to be the second strikeout victim of the day for Perkowski. That ends the threat in the first inning. We'll head to the top of the second inning with no score here in Bedford, and it's going to be a pitching duel, Bill, that's for sure.
Yep, I have a couple of reads here. If I don't read them, our broadcast production coordinator will probably throw something at me, but at this point
we don't want that. We don't want that. That's for sure.
I don't want that at all. I just want to remind everybody that you can watch BCTV not only on Comcast channels 23, 1072, 16, 20, 16, 22, 23, and HD 1072. Right now, this game is being broadcast on HD 1072 and our Bedford Community TV YouTube channel. But there are many more ways to watch, Jason. I'm going to bring you into this.
I love it.
Okay. BCTV's live channels and on-demand content are now easy to access at your fingertips than ever before. Bedford Community Television is available for free download on your Apple iOS. That means your iPhone or your iPad, and Android. That means, your Samsung or whatever your Android is, and of course, your Android tablet. Download the Bedford Community application today from your Apple Store or your Google Play Store for Androids. How's that?
That's pretty good. I mean, you know what? Look, from BCTV, WBNH Radio, every time we're able to kind of be a part of these special games, it's really fun to be able to carry these games, not only, you know, for these players and the families, but for the extended families. Whoa, that ball just came into our area pretty close. But I'll tell you, like, it's an amazing experience to be able to kind of talk to families and friends, and then people that are in Canada during hockey season and California. And I've even had international outside of Canada tell me, like, hey, we listened to the game from Mexico. And it's like, it's just really fun, and the technology is great, and all of those channels are great. But we just can't thank you enough, BCTV and WBNH, for doing everything you do for Bedford sports here and other things in the Bedford community.
I just want to, we'll see what happens here.
Oh,
that looks like it is jacked.
Will Perkowski just hit that ball a mile. That hits the gap, and it's going to hit the fence, and it's going to be a stand-up double. Will Perkowski, first pitch swinging, hits a double to left center field in between Danny Black and Dom Tagliaferro.
That boy's a ball player.
That
was big time.
Yeah, that's a big swing right there, and he wasted no time. So, again, first pitch swinging in the first inning, Logan Simmons. He was stranded, actually caught stealing by Henry Dubois. And then in the second inning, first pitch swinging, Will Perkowski hits a double. So that brings to the plate number 21, Noah Durham, right fielder for Goffstown today. And Cariello, he'll get his first look at Charlie Cariello. And again, Charlie is a pitcher that will continue to kind of just work, right? Those types of things, and as a pitcher, as a player, really, you have to keep even throughout the game. Charlie will stay even. He doesn't get frazzled. He doesn't get kind of, that type of hit doesn't bother him. He'll just throw the next pitch, and that's what you want out of a pitcher. Just misses on the outside corner there to Durham.
Looks like he was waiting for the fastball to, jump on. Maybe the next time he just throw a lot of off-speed breaking balls. And
yeah, I mean, he's they're looking for fastballs for sure, and maybe you start him off with that curveball. But again, when you're a good hitter, you're a good hitter, and you're going to be able to kind of make the adjustments as you go through the game and the at bat. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a big curveball, looping slow curveball there by Charlie Cariello. Just misses low, so 2-0 the count. Top of the second inning here, no score down at the SAU field here in Bedford. If you're in town tonight, driving by, stop in, see the game, take in all the fans that are here, and it's certainly going to build up to be a great atmosphere tonight. That pitch is thrown right by Noah Durham by Charlie Cariello with a nice fastball. 2-1 the count now.
You can also bring it up on your phone if you're in the car. Don't do it while you're driving. Bring up the app, pair your phone to your Bluetooth in your vehicle, and listen to the game as if you are listening to it on radio.
That's right. There's no doubt you can do a lot of different things. Ooh, that pitch just misses Noah Durham. Lots of cool ways to be able to watch and listen to the games. And I've always said the best way to watch any of these games, and you want to listen to a broadcast, come down to the field, put the phone on, put an AirPod in your ear, and listen to the broadcast while you're actually at the game live. And I think that's probably the best of both worlds. Get to know a little bit more about the players and watch the game. Swings right through that, so 3-2. So again, Charlie Cariello working hard on that mound right now, but throwing a good game and staying composed. Early in the top of the second inning, no score. Runner on second base is Will Perkowski after he led off this inning with a double off of Cariello. And here comes that 3-2 pitch. I've got 3-2. The board says 2-2, but I think I'm right.
You're right.
And fouls that one off. So good at bat here by Noah Durham. Again, unfortunately, don't know the stats for Goffstown. I don't have all their stats, but what I do know about Goffstown is they're typically a very good hitting team. Defensively, will make the plays they're supposed to make, and typically they have some good pitching. And we're seeing a good pitcher here today for Goffstown in Will Perkowski, what I believe to be their ace. But again,
just trying to protect the plate with that soft swing.
Yeah, defensive swings.
And it looked like it was high from here, but if it's
3-2,
just
don't leave it in the umpire's discretion to get make the call. So. Just got news. You filled in today for. Here's that 3-2 pitch, and that ball is hit high to center field. Tagliaferro tracking. It's moving. That's Bowden Smith tracking it. Bowden settles under it, makes the play, throws it in for the first out of the inning. So that ball kind of looked like it started in center field and tailed over. That wind maybe.
Yeah, it's coming,
blowing in a little bit.
Just a wee bit. I'm looking at the flag. It's kind of just hanging, and then every once in a while a gust.
Yeah, just those gusts, and that gust moved that ball to right field there. Bowden Smith settled under it nicely. Tagliaferro with his speed was basically standing next to Bowden Smith by the time that catch was made, so that's how high the ball was hit for sure. So that brings up Ryan Dutton, third baseman for Goffstown today, number 6 jersey number, and he sees the first pitch and he flies one to left field, and Danny Black is settling in under that one. Perkowski is going to have to stay there. Black makes the play, but you know,
looks like he was selling under it, and then all of a sudden I had to reach to his left.
Yeah, the way, I think that wind is swirling out there for sure. So that's 2 balls that were hit high in the air, and certainly, boy, there was just some odd. That was not the normal way Danny Black catches the ball. So I think he got fooled by the wind there. But either way, it's an out and a 1-pitch out. So those are the best type, and that brings to the plate number 15, Dylan Gaudette, DHing today for this Goffstown Grizzlies team. No outs here, top of the second inning. I'm sorry, 2 outs here, top of the second inning. No score so far in this game. Will Perkowski stands on second base, and Cariello set to deliver his first pitch to Gaudette, and that's a ball outside. I want to know the count. What I was about to say, though, just before that fly ball, the first out, was that we just got word that John Muir, who was going to be calling the game but unfortunately got called out for work, is flying back from San Diego and listening to the game there. So he said, we sound great, and that's what it's all about. That's what we do here. We deliver games
that's coming
to people
our way
all over the country, and that's going to just be over our head. No tent here today, which is great. No rain, but also that's our protection sometimes. So we'll just
John, I hope I'm doing you proud, but we'll be looking forward to having you back in the saddle here, and hope you're enjoying the game.
Safe travels for sure, John. So 2-1 now the count to Dylan Gaudette. That pitch was a ball from Charlie Cariello. So 2 outs here, top of the second inning, no score. Perkowski stands on second base after that leadoff double. They have not been able to move him along with the next 2 batters. So Gaudette trying to do that job now. Good curveball there. Oh wow, okay. I thought that was a strike, and it looked like the umpire was about to stand up and call it a strike, but he called it a ball.
Yeah, I think it broke high over the plate.
Breaking ball high, yeah. So yeah, Gaudette maybe a little bit shorter player too. It looks like he's a little shorter than some of the other batters we've seen so far, though. So just missed. Fooled my eye at least. Good pitch there. Again, Charlie Cariello continues to bring good pitches, and again, that's that kind of constant state of competition that he lives in.
Yeah, just keeping him up balance a little bit with the pitch selection.
Yep, for sure. 1.87 is Charlie's ERA entering this game today, so he's done very, very well in his starts. And that ball's popped up. Foulis is settling under it. That wind playing with it a bit, but Foulis settles under it.
And this is really a good sign right now. In both innings, the leadoff guy's gotten on.
Yep.
And, of course, the first inning, they never made it to second base, but, yeah, the guy did make the second base the second inning. But the fact is that Bedford is not panicking right now. And you're wondering, okay, is this going to be that inning? You know how we've seen it in other games. Team has one good inning against them. So what we need to hope for is that they maintain the consistency of just being confident, even though Goffstown is 6-2, and Bedford is 5-5. I said at the beginning, I still think they're equally matched because emotion gets into this game. This is Goffstown Bedford.
That's right, and these players all know it. They all know each other, and that's what it's fun to watch. And then post game, you're going to see them all interact, and the competition's over, and they move on. So, but again, no runs there for Goffstown. No runs on 1 hit. The leadoff double by Perkowski. No errors made by Bedford. 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the second, where Bedford will get their second crack at pitcher Will Perkowski for the Goffstown Grizzlies. And again, 6-2 the record for Goffstown, 5-5 for Bedford. But again, strength of schedule has played a role in that. Goffstown has seen some good teams, but they haven't seen the strength of teams that Bedford has seen so far. Bedford has seen the top teams already, minus Exeter, and the rest of them they played very, very strongly. So it's going to be a good finish to the year, but sometimes early in the year those records can be deceiving a bit.
Yeah, and Concord is sitting in second place at 8-2, and one of those losses was to Bedford.
That's correct.
And I can honestly say we saw that game. And as a matter of fact, we did broadcast. So I was wrong in that initial. Wow, we won the first one. So anything you heard me say at the beginning, just delete it. So that's encouraging. There were a lot of errors that day on both sides, and Concord made a run. But Coach Scott Owens, he's been around a long time. When they meet again, and if they do meet in the playoffs and postseason, I think you'll see two teams will be different.
Yeah, there's no doubt early season baseball too, especially in New England. It's cold. The weather plays a role. And these coaches are still trying to figure out who their players are along the way. Coaches are making decisions. Again, Bedford's got a younger team than most. They got some kids that are kind of freshmen playing catcher today, but there's definitely a lot of younger talent on this Bedford team. So the coach is going to definitely work on finding what works and what doesn't work throughout the season, and then be ready for playoff season. So that Coach Chapman and Coach Fox continue to do that throughout the year, and eventually come playoff time, they're going to be a formidable threat. That's for sure.
I agree. Just got a score out of Goffstown. Softball girls are playing. They're again they're a rival, and unfortunately Bedford softball's not having a good year this year. But okay, for the parents that are out there, yeah, they're having fun. No, they're not. Come on, they're losing right now, 10-0.
Oh, Patrick Foulis leads this one off, and he drives that one to center field, bringing the center fielder back. But that was tracked very, very well.
It was.
That was tracked very well by Logan Simmons. Again, a very good center fielder, just like Dominic Tagliaferro for Bedford. He tracked that well. He spun him around, but then was able to back up and make the play right in front of the warning track. So a long fly ball, first pitch swinging out there for Patrick Foulis, and that brings to the plate Bowden Smith. Bowden getting his start today in right field. Bowden has not had a plate appearance this year so far. He actually pitched a few times this year and in safe situations, but this is his first at bat, and he grounds that one over to Poisson, sends that to Hijack over at first base, and that'll be a 2-pitch, 2 outs now for Goffstown here in the bottom of the second inning.
Nothing wrong with having the game move fast.
Yeah, it's so hard you can't even keep up with it. But here we are. That brings the third batter of the inning, bottom of the second inning. Henry Dubois, number 11, doing the catching as we talked about earlier. Seeing his
average right now.
See his first at bat here against Perkowski, and the first pitch is a strike. So Henry comes into the game hitting 200, 5 hits, 7 RBI, 4 of those coming on one swing of the bat and Keene, and has struck out 7 times and walked 5 times. So
I have a theory about this, and I might be wrong. He's only a freshman.
Yeah.
But to start off with a home run, that sometimes can be good and sometimes can be the detriment to how you swing the bat moving into the season.
Yeah.
And is he coming up there going, I did it once? So you can change all your mechanics. And Major League Baseball players do the same thing. It's like, hey, I got a sweet swing down. I'm going for home runs. Remember when it was all about home runs? Not slugging percentage or anything like that. And that's what happens sometimes if you shift the way you stand, hold the bat, and the mental part of it coming to the plate.
Yeah.
I'm not saying high school kids are that smart.
they're making adjustments, but you're right. I mean, sometimes it can be a detriment, and Henry struck out there, looking. It was a tough curveball pitch. Perkowski is a older pitcher. He's very good, and it's going to take some time for him to adjust. Henry is the type of player that like any baseball player, they come into games, they're going to get in, they're going to get hot, they're going to get cold, but at the end of the day, he's a good ball player and one that I assure you to watch. Throughout the rest of his time.
If you're a freshman on the high school baseball team, you're good, and I can see he has all the mechanics. He's got the power, and man, what an arm does he have. When we see him in his senior year, I can only imagine.
Oh, it's going to be special.
He's going to be quite the guy.
I will hope to be calling some of those games still.
I hope so too.
That'll be the goal there, to be continuing to follow him.
I know
as he progresses.
We had your son is graduating this year, and I hear he's going to the University of New Hampshire.
He's going to UNH. Yeah, unfortunately, he came down with some sort of stomach bug here, so he's not going to be playing today, and not even at the field, unfortunately. But celebrating his 18th birthday today too, so it was
memorable.
It's going to be memorable, but not for the reasons maybe we were looking for.
Well,
but
maybe he's listening to Dad right now.
Maybe he is. I wish you the best, buddy, and I'm sure we'll make up for it as you get better. So,
hey, I just want to add also that if if you miss the game, you can always catch our games on video on demand.
Yeah.
Okay. Through Bedford Community TV, our YouTube channel, as well as go to our website and just click on demand, put in the game you want to watch, you can watch it. But what our broadcast production coordinator, Andrew Fenn, has done, if you go to our Bedford Community television page, YouTube channel, and subscribe to our channel, you will see all the games broken down by years. So you have
awesome.
2022 to 23, you just click on it, all the games open up. You want to hear Jason Bergeron back in 2020 and 2021, just click on that year.
Oh boy, I don't know. I was a rookie back then. I still consider myself a rookie. I learn every time I come out here. But so Charlie Cariello starts off the top of the third inning here against batter Trevor Poisson, playing shortstop, and Trevor made a good play there in the last inning, and now steps to the plate for the first time against Cariello. He starts him off with a curveball strike and another curveball strike. So Trevor Poisson down 0-2 quickly.
Now I always say, when I was behind the plate and I used to hear chirping down the first base line about balls and strikes, I always say to people, you know, you're right. I probably should call balls and strikes from the first base line. If
Right.
you guys ever better. But even I have to admit, as I saw that pitch, I went, "Oh, that's." I almost made a comment. That looked high, which I just did.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to.
I mean,
but again, it's where he's calling. All a coach will ask of the umpires is just be consistent. Just be consistent. You call him high, then call him high.
I'll tell you, calling games down the first base line, we get a good sense for the height of the pitch, high or low, but we have no idea where it is on the plate. When we were at the game, calling the game in Holman in conjunction with Nashua ETV, and he strikes out swinging there, the ball gets away from Dubois, but he makes the throw down to Nolan Arnold for the first out of the third inning. But we were calling that game. It was just really interesting to see the difference of calling right above the plate. So what we lost there was our ability to kind of see the high and low, but we really saw the plate, and we were able to kind of tell if it was on the plate or not. So
isn't that a great place to call a game? Great place to watch a game.
It really is. It really is. It was a little bit, it was fun to kind of get that sense and call it at such a historic ballpark too. And the batter there is Jake Weber. So he's going to hit a 1-out single up the middle. He was the 9-hitter for this team playing second base, and he takes a first pitch and hits a ground ball right up the middle, and he'll be standing on first with 1 out, bringing back the top of the order for this Goffstown Grizzlies team.
Yeah, I was going to say this second time through for the Goffstown lineup. And let's see what they picked up now that they've all gone through the lineup to see fastball, curveball change. Let's see what happens here.
So top of the third inning, no score here in Bedford. We have a 1-out runner on first base is Jake Weber. The batter, Logan Simmons, who in his first plate appearance, first pitch, hit a hard ground ball into the second base hole, right between the first and second baseman, and put it out into the outfield. So not able to score. He got to second base, but not able to score. And actually, he got caught stealing. I'm sorry. Henry Dubois threw him out. And there was a pitch out. That was a called pitch out. So 1-1 now the count. 1 out here. Top of the third inning. Goffstown Grizzlies versus your Bedford Bulldogs.
He's got a nice lead over there right now.
Yeah, he's definitely, Jake Weber happened to know he's a goaltender for the Goffstown Grizzlies hockey team. So
I like with the pitches, they don't lose any of their energy when all you do is you take that foot off and then you flick it.
Yeah.
Now, if he flicks it with his foot still in contact and his hands are together, that's a balk.
That's a balk. Yeah. So that umpire, the back umpire behind him, is watching for those things now. Logan Simmons swings right through that pitch. So a little bit less fortunate at bat here so far for Simmons. He's taken 2 swings and not able to catch up to either one of those of Cariello. Again, Cariello has thrown 3 strikeouts in the game so far.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to go at one of these pitches.
Yeah,
he's definitely. You got to try to make
something happen. Yeah. Got 2 really good pitchers on the mound. Cariello checks on runner Weber again. 1 out here.
And I think he knows too, because he's coming out of first base more often.
Yeah. So Simmons stands in, waits for the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, he waits on it, drives it out to left field. Danny Black settling in under it, and Weber will have to retreat. Now 2 outs in the inning, and getting that leadoff hitter, Logan Simmons, to fly out to left. That's a big win for this pitching staff.
Batter was definitely sitting on fastball. That was good. Coach Chapman, most coaches at high school level are calling the pitches.
Yeah.
Getting him out to the catcher, getting out, obviously, to the pitchers. I would like to think that, the pitchers are doing it, but No.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not at this level, and they're definitely the coach is making those decisions, and those players are out there to execute those game plans. And that pitch, he spikes on the curveball, and it just gets by Dubois. He spiked that about 3 or 4 feet in front of the plate. So the runner Weber will move up to second base on the wild pitch. And
definitely going to say that was more wild pitch than pass ball.
Oh yeah. There's nothing Henry Dubois or any catcher could have done in that spot.
Lauren Fox, who also does the book for the Boston Red Sox, he'd probably be debating it right now.
No, I don't think so. I think that one there was probably clear.
Yeah,
that was clear.
Yeah.
So Braden Lambert, the hitter here for the Grizzlies.
I'm going to take an opportunity to kind of take him over the Colt and bust him every once in a while.
Of course. So Braden Lambert had a 10-pitch at-bat in the first inning of the game, but ended up striking out looking in that first at-bat. So he's now up on this count, 2-0. Runner on second base is Jake Weber after the single and wild pitch. Moved him to second base. And Lambert looks down to his coach for some direction. Top of the third inning here, no score. Goffstown Grizzlies versus your Bedford Bulldogs in a very big NHIAA Division I baseball matchup today down at the SAU field. If you're in the area and are looking for something to do, grab an ice cream after dinner, come on down and watch this game. I would say, we still got probably about an hour and 15 minutes of baseball here to be played. So it's going to be a great finish, and we'll continue to watch these players do what they do and do what they love. Carriel ready to deliver that 2-1 pitch, working very methodically here in this game, as he always does. That ball is hit hard on the ground. It's going to get by Hinton. Black is going to try to get him out at home with the throw, and the throw is there, but not able to be collected. And Goffstown's going to get up in this game 1-0 on this single by Braden Lambert, who advances to second base on the throw.
I'm not sure if that was a single. I'd call it an error on that one.
Oh, I don't. That was a hard hit ball, though. It was moving to Hinton's left. I'm going to give it a hit, but again, I'm not the official scorekeeper. I certainly would defer to those official scorekeepers somewhere.
I'm looking at it from a perspective where. Looking at it, I might be too close to you. That's why we're getting the scratching. That if he had an opportunity to play, it wasn't like he was going to his left. He actually had it just a little up. Okay, I'll give it to you. Well, a bad bounce.
Bad bounce. It could have hit that lip and stayed on the ground, but it definitely had some good hit behind it, some good power behind it, and made it out to Danny Black in time for Danny to come up and throw and almost get the runner at home. So, but either way, now 1-0. Yeah, you're a tough scorer. I mean, at the high school level, I mean, maybe in the pros that's a hit, or I'm sorry, an error. But at this level, I think that's going to be a hard hit single. Right. The ball's fouled off into the tree. So the batter now, Ryan Strand, he struck out in the first inning. Was a strikeout victim number 2 of that first inning for Goffstown. He's now a 1-1 count. 1-0 your score here. The Grizzlies just took the lead on a single by Braden Lambert. And here in the top of the third inning, we'll continue to see some good baseball being played. Cat and mouse game at second base. That pitch, a slow curveball, and Ryan Strand swings right over the top of it. Misses it. Now 1-2. 2 outs. Top of the third inning here. We'll see if Ryan Strand can do some more damage. As a 3-hitter, I know he can hit the ball, and this is going to be a good battle. Fouled off right into the trees behind us again. It's always here at the SAU. It's always questionable where those balls will land, where they end up, and there's a lot of players in the out in the woods looking for balls to bring it back to the umpire.
The situation's almost the same down in Goffstown. I'll explain a little bit later. They play at Lions Field.
Yes.
And you got the river.
They got the river behind. Yes.
Yeah. And you're never going into the river after those balls.
No, definitely not going into the river.
I'm not sure we got wetlands over here behind us.
I don't think so. 1-2 pitch here. That ball is way up. 2-2 the count. Ryan Strand putting together a good at-bat here against Charlie Carriello. But again, Carriello continues to work methodically and just trying to execute the game plan that Coach Chapman and Coach Fox have worked on coming into the game. 2-2. Again, cat and mouse game over at second base. The runner takes off here. That's going to be strike 3. Ryan Strand strikes out looking again, and that's going to end the inning. And 1 run on that on 2 hits. And we'll head to the bottom of the third with the Goffstown Grizzlies leading the Bedford Bulldogs 1-0.
So there's another way to watch Bedford Community Television.
All right, let's tell us about it.
Well, I talked to you about all the mobile applications, so let me talk to you about OTT. You know what OTT is? Over the top. That's what they call sticks, okay? That device that you plug into your TV. If you don't have a smart TV, you plug in a Roku.
Yep.
Roku. Apple TV, and then Amazon Fire through our Cablecast ScreenWave. Meaning, all you have to do if you have either one of those, any of those devices, is simply go in the menu, okay? Look for, in streaming channels, you just type in BCTV or Bedford Community TV, and it'll open up. There's other BCTVs, so make sure you're clicking on the right one. You'll know our logo. And make it part of your streaming TV menu.
Yes.
And then you can watch everything in high definition. Let me tell you, mobile apps, YouTube channel, streaming channels. My God, man.
It's unbelievable when you watch, when you get onto your smart TV and, I'll put my TV on and all of a sudden the first thing that comes up is a suggestion to watch maybe the Nashwood game that was on or the Bedford game. Like we see BCTV popping up right in our menu because our YouTubes are attached and, we've seen those games there. So it's really fun to see that. And again, everything that BCTV does for this community, carrying these games and broadcasting these games is just incredible. And we can't thank you guys enough. And Coach Fox coming over here, we don't have an ambient field mic, but every time Coach Fox comes over, we like to talk.
What kind of rinky-dink experience is it?
What kind of rinky-dink experience? What do you mean?
I'll tell you right.
What's your takeaway through 2.5 innings?
Through 2.5 innings, Will Perkowski throws a really good, he's a really good pitcher.
We got a field mic on you right now, so why don't you, can you hear him?
On me right now.
Oh, I'm picking you up.
You must be close, or you're picking up your hair. But yeah, Perkowski's throwing really well.
John's not here, but a pretty good guy that knows baseball. That used to officiate.
You've done your fair share of umpiring, so why not?
I sure have. Hey, please don't yell at me, Coach.
No, I won't.
Coach Fox coming on over here for some banter before the bottom of the third inning. So Carter Crowley steps to the plate here. His first at bat of the game. Crowley enters this game. He's a left-handed hitter. Enters this game hitting .308 on the season. He's got 8 hits, 6 RBIs, 4 walks, and has struck out 7 times on the year. So seeing the ball well as a 9-hitter really puts the ball in play. He's on base a good amount of times, and he'll see his first action here versus pitcher Will Perkowski for Goffstown, who has thrown 3 strikeouts through the first 2 innings, and faces this Bedford team. The 9-1-2 hitters due up here in the inning. And here's that 1-1 pitch. Swung and missed. That looked like some sort of breaking pitch that, maybe an off-speed pitch that fooled Crowley, and he was way out ahead of it.
His windup is also part of his repertoire. I mean, he's just not throwing, but he's doing his twisting, and he's not. And he changes it up, depending on. I'm not just saying when a player's on base, but I've noticed some changes even coming from the regular windup, and it's coming from the stretch. I mean, kid's good.
Yeah, he's no doubt. He's a good player, and he hit that ball in the second inning. He hit that ball pretty far, so he's a ball player for sure. And
what's his normal position? Outside of pitching.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure where he plays. I know he pitches.
Somebody in Goffstown's yelling at the TV going,
right.
That shortstop.
He's a first base. He's a shortstop.
Yeah, we don't have any of that information, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that brings the number 1 hitter for Bedford back to the plate, Dominic Tagliaferro. He struck out in his first at bat in the first inning, and he is 2-0, I think, right now. I might have missed the first pitch there, but as we were talking about where Will Perkowski plays other than pitcher, I'm sure somebody here in the Bedford unit, they play, they play a lot of games in their club teams together, so somebody will come over and say something to us at some point.
So where do you put the strongest arms in a baseball field?
Well, I think you put them at third and short, left side of the outfield.
Which position?
If you can run, then I'm going to put you in right field.
My God. You've been reading the book.
Yeah, I'm a hockey guy, but I know a little bit about this sport too. So Tagliaferro rips one to left field. It's moving Strand back and left. It's going to get over Strand's head. One hop the fence, and Tagliaferro with that speed comes into second base with a double. And that gets a threat for Bedford on the base pass, and that speed threat that we talked about early in the first inning, a double there that just took Strand, kept taking Strand further and further back. It ended up beating him over his right shoulder, turned him right into the fence, and Tagliaferro stands on second with a double.
Yeah, he almost made a great play on it. Looks like he might have, our guy on the camera could probably tell, he might have got his glove on it, maybe just over the glove. And folks, I'll tell you right now, I mean, if you saw the game from Nashua, you're behind the plate and you got a little bit of better field coverage. There's nothing that we can do. This is all we got here.
Yeah.
And if we could get maybe some volunteers or Lauren Fox, who always does fundraisers one way or the other. Oh, I would love to have a concession stand and a press box right behind the plate.
Well, it would help draw the fans here too, right? Yeah. When you get down here, bring your own food, bring your own snacks, because there is none of that available for you here. But again, this field, if I look over my right shoulder right now, and everybody's looking into the sun, but this field is filling up, and there's a lot of people here at this game, and rightfully so. This is one of those games that is always a good draw. Bedford Goffstown is always great baseball, and so far through 2 1/3 innings, this has been a great game so far. Goffstown leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Aiden O'Connell steps to the plate. It's a 1-1 count with 1 out.
This is the guy you want up there.
This is the guy you want up there. He grounded it out to the first baseman in the his first at bat of the game, but he comes into the game hitting .531. So definitely the bat you want up at the plate with a runner in scoring position.
So these guys have played together.
Yeah.
And they know one another. And they're friends.
Yep.
So this is a fun matchup, but they both want to beat one another.
Anytime you have two communities that are so close, a lot of times in their club teams, they end up playing on the same team, and then they get to their respective high schools and they play against each other, which is always fun. That ball is hit way up in the air, and I'm looking into the sun, and that one's going to land right around the second base area. Yep. And caught there by Jake Weber, the second baseman for Goffstown, and that is the second out of the inning here in the 3rd. And Aiden O'Connell now 0 for 2 on the game.
You can't let these opportunities with a man at second base pass, because this game looks like it's the way it's going right now. It's going to be a pitcher's battle. Yeah. So they get their run on a pass ball, they get the guy at second, and then they came through with a base hit.
Timely hitting is what it's all about, right? And I think that's what you're saying. Is timely hitting is kind of what the name of the game is. And this brings to the plate Nolan Arnold, the first baseman today. He had the first hit of the game for Bedford in the 1st inning. He hit a hard ground ball to the right side, and it got to the right fielder. So he is down 0-1, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-0 your score. The Grizzlies leading Bedford. Arnold takes strike 2, so he's quickly down 0-2. But one of the things, the Merrimack game last night, timely hitting was what it was all about. And unfortunately, Bedford just couldn't come up with those timely hits. They got the bases loaded a couple times, couldn't get that breakthrough single, and it ended up going into extra innings. And finally, James Gilbert, a freshman, again, a nice base hit, drove in the eventual game-winning run. And that's going to be strike 3. Nolan Arnold strikes out looking a really good curveball. Froze him completely, and unfortunately, Tagliaferro gets stranded at second base after that double. But again, those are the types of hits. You've got to have that timely hitting to make sure that you can score those runs when you get the opportunities.
Absolutely. Hey, just want to continue our discussion about watching on mobile apps as well as our streaming channels. Let's talk about the Bedford Community Television BCTV YouTube channel. And if you want to know when we're having our live games, then subscribe. Yeah. You'll get a notification. You'll hear that little bell go, or you'll just get some sort of notification, whatever way you have your phone set up, that the game is about to go out live. And you know something? You don't know this, but by the end of this year, we would have streamed over 100 live sporting events.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's all credit to our broadcast production guy, Andrew Fenn. We used to just kind of focus on the home games, but now, because we have extra resource, with some of the technology, we can travel. And more importantly, and I'm going to compliment you, Jason Bergeron, is that we can only do it without guys like you, Corey Mustard Tiger, Lauren Fox. We have Harry Kozlowski, who, works with us, but we need guys like you, and I can't thank you enough. So we have the tools, but we need the guys, and I was so delighted to have you say you're going to continue, because I didn't know whether or not with the last one, I believe in the Ruth, and I know your daughter is up at
the Holderness School,
School, and you still have managed to watch her games and then get the headset on to call BHS hockey. So Joe, I can't thank you enough, but subscribe to the BCTV, Bedford Community TV YouTube channel and get notified when the game is going out. Goffstown does a very good job of doing that, and we commend those guys too. They have a good following through their YouTube channel. We stream many different ways. They primarily use their the YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel, yeah. And
for everything.
And I think that's the key thing there is that there's many ways to watch, but the key is just kind of locking yourself into all of the different ways, and that way there you're always informed, and you're ready to go. So top of the fourth inning here is now start, and we got Will Perkowski back to the plate facing Charlie Cariello. He hit a double, and it was a shot in the top of the second inning to lead off that inning. He didn't score. He was stranded in that inning, but he is the pitcher for this Goffstown team and the four-hitter as well. So certainly a talent that we're watching here play for Goffstown today. He is up 2-1 now on Perkowski in this at-bat. So 1-0 your score, top of the fourth inning. SAU Field in Bedford. So if you're driving and listening right now and you're looking for something to do, certainly come on down. The sun is shining, I would say for the second time this year for a baseball game, the sun is shining. So, take advantage of that. Get out in the sun and come down here and watch a little baseball here as the night winds down. And that ball is driven again. That ball is way out the right field. Bowden Smith tracking it well and makes a great catch, moving to his right, back and right, and I would say he's right on the warning track, and he retires Perkowski for the first out.
And he was playing him deep, which is good too.
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely the scouting report is out on Perkowski. Play him deep, and if he beats you with a single line drive, well, you take that. So that brings us one out here in the top of the fourth inning. That brings up right fielder Noah Durham. He flew out to Bowden Smith in right field in his first at bat, a righty hitter, pushed one out to the right side, and we'll see what he does in his second at bat here against Charlie Cariello. And good pitch there, Coach Fox saying great pitch, and it was a ball, but it was just one of the, again, executing the game plan is what it's all about there. And then sometimes you pick up on those nuances when a coach says good pitch and it's a ball, they're still executing the game plan. So 1-0 the count. One out here. Cariello delivers to the plate. That one's low and outside. Misses. So 2-0 the count. 1-0 your score. The Grizzlies leading your Bedford Bulldogs here in the top of the fourth inning. Pitchers duel for sure. Will Perkowski on the mound for Goffstown. Charlie Cariello for Bedford. And they're both pitching gems. They're doing what they need to do. So far, it's just been one timely hit that has been the difference, and that's what you expect in a pitcher's duel. Cariello entered the game. He's played 3 games. He's 2-1 on the season. He's given up 12 hits, 15 strikeouts. That falls over our head foul. And but again, batters are just hitting a .211 against him, and he's got a 1.87 ERA coming into the game.
That's pretty damn good.
That's really good. So 2-2 the count.
Stating the obvious as your color analyst.
right. Coming up with those stats.
That's pretty darn good.
2-2 and a good curveball. He gets him swinging. Just a slow roller to Crowley. He comes up firing over to Nolan Arnold at that first base, and that'll be the second out of the inning. And you guys can hear, hopefully you can hear that. We have the ambient mic picking up some of that crowd reaction, but there is a lot of fans here, and every play there's a little bit more and more energy. So it's fun to see.
So, as I mentioned, we broadcast a lot of live games, and we got a lot of spring sports action going on. I'm going to give you the rundown as to what's coming up on BCTV, and we're going to start on May 8th. That's Monday, boys lacrosse versus the Salem Blue Devils at 5:30 p.m. Then we're back to baseball Wednesday, May 17th against the Wyndham Jaguars. That game will be at 4:15. Softball Thursday, May 18th, Manchester Central Memorial at 4 p.m. And then girls lacrosse Friday, May 26th, playing Newburyport Clippers at 6:30. And that's going to be a good game because Newburyport is a top team, Massachusetts team, and they did a job on the Portsmouth Clippers, who the Bedford girls lacrosse just beat the other night, 14 to 10.
Wow, there
and
you
they
go.
came from behind. I mean, if we just looked at the second half, it was all runaway Bedford girls, and they're really looking good, and that will be a good game. And we're actually picking that up from our sister station in Massachusetts, the Newburyport Public Access Community Television.
Love that. Yep. So the batter here, Ryan Dutton, 2 outs here in the bottom of the top of the fourth inning. Dutton now 1-2. He's fouled off a couple of pitches, and here comes that 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. He fouls off another one and continues to work. You know, it's fun as I looked at that schedule and listened to that schedule. I hear that game on the 17th, the baseball game, which I'll be calling again with John Muir, and I hopefully will be on that call again. And there's that 1-2 pitch. He swings right through it and strikes out. But even the next day, the 18th, we're doing the softball game, and it's going to be Steve Tempesta and I back on the airwaves. And when we call softball, we just have a blast talking about it. So
yeah, Steve's coming off the IR.
Coming off the IR, so yeah, he'll be there. And saw him the other day. He's doing great, and can't wait for Steve to be back in the booth with us. So that does it here for the top of the 4th inning, and we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning with the Grizzlies leading the Bedford Bulldogs 1-0 here. But again, the Bulldogs continue to kind of get base runners and looking for that big timely hit. They'll bring up to the plate Danny Black, Jack Hinton, and Patrick Foulis in the bottom of the 4th inning here once the action resumes.
So, Jason, we work very closely with the Bedford Booster Club, and there's no better group in supporting Bedford athletics, Bedford High School athletics, than the Booster Club. And they're all volunteers.
They are.
And people, I hope you understand that they could use all your help. So the Bedford Bulldogs Athletic Booster Club is always looking for new members and volunteers to help support the Bedford High School athletic programs. The Booster Club meets in the BHS Media Center at 7 p.m. on the first Wednesday of every month. Visit bbabc.net to learn more about how you can help or request more information. Be a part of the support of Bedford athletics. Join the Booster Club and help raise funds. You know, a lot of that money goes to scholarships, and the support of the Rich Beyer Student Athlete Scholarship. Each girl and boy, one girl, gets a $1,000 scholarship. That's not bad.
That's huge. Yeah,
and
it's
that's
huge.
money that's helped raise through a foundation that I was originally on with a bunch of other guys before the Booster Club. Rich Beyer was a unbelievable sports fan who I knew well. We used to do a sports program, and then suddenly passed away in 2007, and a bunch of us. He would be that guy down here today, even with no kids, but his granddaughter plays on the volleyball team. She's on the softball team.
Yeah.
And Dad Jeff is and Naomi, Mom, they're carrying on the tradition. Rich Beyer was the best, and I knew him. And a lot of people, when they get that, well, you know what we end up doing? We end up giving them a copy of the history of Rich Beyer that I did like 10 years when he passed away. And I think we always wanted the athletes to know who he was.
Yeah, a great family, and my daughter is friends with Aubrey, who we were talking about, and we're friends with Jeff and Naomi as well, and they're great, just a great family. Jeff's brothers, I mean, it's just Jeff and I play softball together, so it'll be fun to actually be Stevie and I calling that game, and the softball game with Aubrey playing will be very, very fun. And my daughter will probably be listening to that one. So brings to the plate, bottom of the 4th inning here, leading off will be Danny Black. He had a single in his first at-bat of the game in the first inning. It was one of those bounding, chopping balls to the right side that just beat the first baseman, and he got into first base and got on, and that's what it's all about. So 2-1 the count here to Danny, the 4-hitter again for Bedford, and Perkowski still continuing to bring some velocity here, and I don't expect him to wear down in any way, shape, or form. He's got 5 strikeouts so far on the day, and we continue to watch kind of him move through this Bedford lineup with somewhat of ease. It's going to be another strike there, but he is definitely a player that will continue to progress through into college, and I do know that he's going to be heading over to Southern New Hampshire University to be playing at Southern New Hampshire, and he strikes out Danny Black and is showing some emotion there after that strikeout, really kind of geared up for that one. So not sure if there's more to that story. He may know Danny Black, he may not, but he's definitely showing some emotion on the mound now, and again, that's the type of game this is. It's a very competitive game. He's working quickly. Hinton now steps to the plate, hits a slow roller to first base. It's flipped over to Perkowski, and now play will go 3-1, and that quickly there's 2 outs here in the 4th inning for Bedford.
As you said, game's going by fast.
It's going by really quickly.
And and somewhat it's a shame because you talked about the weather. I mean, this is the best. We were freezing our butts off down at the lacrosse game. I mean, I had tears coming down. All I had was a spring jacket. I was in the press box. It got ridiculous. So this is really enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Merrimack game last night, and I had hand warmers running. So, I mean, that tells you exactly how cold it was. And, you know.
I felt like it was in the hockey arena.
I know. You figure in your hockey arena, it's warmer sometimes in the hockey arena than it is sometimes in some of these April and May baseball games. So Patrick Foulis now comes to the plate, bottom of the fourth inning. There's 2 outs here in the inning already, and he is up 2-0 quickly here. Foulis is up quickly on pitcher Will Perkowski, but 1-0 your score. The Grizzlies leading Bedford here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Perkowski pitching a gem so far, but as is being matched by Cariello. Just one key hit at a timely time for Goffstown is the difference, and Foulis hits a hard ball over to Poisson, shortstop. He throws it across the diamond to Hijack, and that ends the inning 6-3 in the scorebook. And we'll head to the top of the 5th inning with the Grizzlies leading 1-0 over your Bedford Bulldogs.
Goffstown's always had good fielders as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, so far, looking at some of these balls that are being hit, and with some velocity, good coverage on the ball, good arm over to first base. You like to see that.
Yeah, no, it's good.
In Bedford, I see the improvement on Bedford's part. I mean, the kids know where to go.
Yeah.
The arms are good.
It's good, clean baseball, and that's what you're looking for when you're watching a game. It's good, clean baseball. The game down at Nashville, we called it Holman Stadium. We talk about a long game. It was long. There was a lot of things going on in that game, and there was a lot of pitching changes. There was errors being made. The game, I think it was 16-6 was the final. So there was runs everywhere, but that's just, those are the sloppy May, early season type of games in the cold weather that can happen, and it's just high schoolers.
Do you know who else hates those kind of games?
Who's that?
The officials.
Oh, yeah, of course they do.
Oh, my God. I can tell you, when I was out there, we looked for the 10-run rule. And you know how 10-run rules are. If the home team is leading after 4.5, game's over.
Right.
Okay? If the visitors are at the end of 5, the game's over. And I used to have, and these guys, these games, all right, this looks going to be a 10-run, then the home team would end up with 3 more runs. And then all of a sudden it keeps, and you never got to that.
Never got to the 10 number.
And you're ready to put a gun to your head.
Yeah. The key is though, these players, they just want to keep playing and competing, and that's what they do.
I don't know.
They do. Except that day at Nashua at Holman Stadium, Bedford actually had a rare doubleheader. So they left that field, Holman Stadium, after losing 16-6, and then had to go over to Londonderry, who was the #1 team in the state right now, and had to play them, and they lost by 1 run in that game. So they played them really well. So Charlie Cariello comes back to the mound for the top of the 5th inning. Dylan Gaudette steps to the plate, and Dylan popped out to the second baseman in his first at-bat, and he gets his second look at Charlie Cariello. Again, Charlie pitching a great game so far. He's got 5 strikeouts on the game, just gave up that 1 run on a couple of hits, and there's that curveball.
Nice off speed.
Really nice off speed.
Remind me, between innings, to tell you a story about the 10-run rule in postseason play.
Okay. All right. I like it.
And it's a story.
All right.
It was a championship game.
I like it.
That's a tease, folks.
Teasing into the break. Gaudette takes that pitch high. 1-2 the count now. No outs here. Top of the 5th inning.
I think that was a Corey Monster Tiger thing I picked up, so.
1-0 your score. The Grizzlies beating the Bedford Bulldogs here down at the SAU field in Bedford on this beautiful Friday evening for this NHIAA Division I matchup between the Grizzlies and the Bulldogs. 2-2 now the count to Gaudette. We'll take a look at these players as we go through the game. But again, we talk about Cariello. He's done such a good job this year on this pitching staff and has really solidified this pitching staff behind Aiden O'Connell and Patrick Foulis as a formidable threat. And he strikes out another batter. Gaudette goes down looking, and that's the first out of the 5th inning for Goffstown, bringing up Trevor Poisson, who was a strikeout victim in the 3rd inning, his first at-bat of the game.
So you think of the difference right now, it's pass ball, runner goes to second, and a tough, hard hop base hit over the 3rd. We'll either agree or disagree with that. I'm going to say base hit, and it brings the runner home. Bedford's got to have some of that luck, but both these pitchers are pitching good games. This is exactly what we expected to see, and we'll continue to watch it. So 1-0 the count now to the hitter Trevor Poisson. He hits a ball hard to right field. It's tracking right along the line. Bowden Smith settles under it, makes the play, moving to his left.
and that'll be the second out of the inning for Bedford. And again, the game just flying along. That's just another fly ball and a fly ball out. So 9-hitter number 2, Jake Weber, steps to the plate. He is the run scorer in this game so far. He's the 9-hitter, got on base with a hard hit single ball. He was able to get there. He got to second base on a wild pitch, and then that base hit scored him, and that's the only run of the game so far. So we'll see if he can do it again.
Top of the 5th, and we haven't even played an hour yet.
Yeah. So earlier I said the projection would be here for another hour and 15 minutes. So that time frame is shortening for sure as this game continues to move quickly with two great pitchers.
As soon as you mention that, somebody opens it up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see. Again, I'll be out here as long as we can with the sun and the weather here, so it's great to see. Cariello brings the 1-0 pitch, now 2-0 to Weber. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. The Grizzlies currently beating the Bedford Bulldogs 1-0 on this beautiful night at SAU Field. And again, the crowd continues to grow as I expected as the night progresses here. Fans continue to roll in, and it's one of those great games to see. Jack Hinton with a great catch. Weber lined the ball down the third base line. Hinton gets every bit of ups that he has and makes the catch, and that ends the 5th inning. That'll bring up the Bedford Bulldogs in the bottom of the 5th to see if they can tie or take the lead. But through 4 1/2, the Grizzlies lead the Bedford Bulldogs 1-0.
Now, if we had Dale Bird, and Dale's not always with us, that would have been a nice one to have in replay. Maybe
post game.
Our broadcast production guy, AF, or Andrew Fenn, can add that to the post production. So
that's definitely one that he's going to want on the highlight reel for Jack Hinton for sure. That was a great catch over there at third base.
Yeah. So if you could just hold on for 1 second, I have to just chat with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I want to talk a little bit about something going on. But yeah, go ahead and say hello.
Turn me down.
The Bedford team. Just talking a little bit about the standings so far in this season. Bedford, currently 5-5 on the year, and again, we talked about their strength of schedule. But Goffstown 6-2. Londonderry is leading the division 8-1 right now. Concord at 8-2. Winnacunnet in third at 8-2, and Exeter behind them at 8-2. Portsmouth 7-2. Pinkerton 7-2. So when we look at the schedule, you look at Bedford has already seen Londonderry. They've beaten Concord. They haven't seen Winnacunnet, Exeter yet. They lost to Portsmouth and they lost to Pinkerton. Both of those being close matchups. So this is the type of season that I expect to see as this season goes on. What's upcoming for Bedford is a couple of teams that maybe aren't having as good a season. Manchester Central West at 1-8, Timberlane at 1-9. Those are games that Bedford will have to come out and earn their victory. But you would expect them to perform well in those types of games. And as the season shifts, you'll definitely start to see the standing shift a little bit here. Coach Fox on his way over here. We're going to lean in a little bit and see if we can catch him. Yeah, you need base runners for sure. Or that one timely hit. Doing a great job. That ball he tracked. That ball he tracked over his right shoulder, almost at the fence. That was perfect.
He's going to get a base hit. Henry's going to do a double into the gap.
Okay, base hit for Bowden Smith and a double by Henry Dubois. Coach Fox is calling his shots right now. So we'll see Bowden Smith. He doesn't know that shot was just called, but he is. That's what the call was. A double and a base hit. Base hit and a double, and we'll see the action here. So first pitch strike there to Bowden Smith. Bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 your score. 2 strikes quickly here on Bowden Smith against Will Perkowski, the pitcher for Goffstown. Bowden in this first inning grounded out to the shortstop, Poisson, and that ball is grounded over. Slow roller to the pitcher. Perkowski makes a really nice play, a strong throw over to Hijack, and he's going to get the out. And that was a really nice play by Will Perkowski, an athletic play, coming off the mound, turning away, falling away from it, and throwing a bullet strike over to Cam Hijack at first base and for the first out. So officially goes in the book as a 1-3, but certainly was more exciting than that. That brings to the plate freshman Henry Dubois, number 11, doing the catching today for Charlie Cariello. He struck out looking in the 2nd inning, his first at-bat of the game. And Coach Chapman just coming over to talk to the first base umpire. I'm gathering he wants to make sure he held the bag. Hijack held the bag as he stretched to make the catch there, but to me it looked like he did do that, so it was all good. And umpire confirmed that call. No replay here, no official replay here, I guess, down at field level, so it comes down to the umpires coming together or just at least making a definitive decision there. So 1 out. Pitch comes into Henry Dubois as a strike right down the middle. A good hard fastball. 0-1 the count to him. 1-0 your score. The Grizzlies leading the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Dubois takes a ball up and away. 1-1 the count. Dubois enters the game hitting 200. He's got 5 hits on the season. Again, freshman season, his freshman campaign. And 2-1 now the count to Dubois. And again, John Muir talks about it a lot when we're here in the booth, but the poise as a freshman to come into these situations and maintain his control and take pitches and learn the game and continue growing is what it's all about. 3-1, very patient hitter at the plate. He's walked this year 5 times on the year, and maybe trying to earn that walk right now with 3-1 ahead in the count, 3-1. Perkowski's got 6 strikeouts on the day so far through the first 4 1/3 innings. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and Henry Dubois lines one into left field. A good piece of hitting there by Henry Dubois. He sat on the fastball 3-1 and just drove it to left field, and he'll stand on first base with a 1-out single, and that brings up Carter Crowley for his second at-bat. He struck out in his first at-bat again in the second inning. I'm sorry, in the top of the 3rd inning, struck out for the first out of that inning, and he comes here with a runner on first base, Henry Dubois.
And I'm back. Thank you.
No, yeah, welcome back. So, runner on first base, Henry Dubois, just had a hard hit single. Carter Crowley steps to the plate here and takes a first pitch strike. Crowley struck out swinging in his first at-bat, 3rd inning. Crowley hitting 308 on the year, on base 40% of the time. He's got 8 hits on the year, 6 RBI. He's walked 4 times as well. Again, always puts a good left-handed swing on the ball. Usually makes great contact. Almost hit one out yesterday in Merrimack. Pulled one down the line, but in Merrimack, you're playing on a field that is kind of right next to the school, and there was a little hill, and the player was able to jump up on the hill and make the catch, but it was really a well-struck ball.
This is interesting right now to see what Billy will do. I can see he has him hitting away. I thought maybe he'd probably just try to put the ball on the ground with a bunt or something just to move the player over and then work on the next 2 hitters.
Yeah. There's a swing and a miss. So Crowley goes down on strikes there for the second out of the inning. His second strikeout of the day against Perkowski. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Dominic Tagliaferro, who had a double in his last at-bat. Tagliaferro hitting 290 on the season, entering the game today.
You can see why he had Crowley swinging away. He's batting 308. So,
yeah, he's hitting well. Coach Chapman yesterday in that Merrimack game, they tried to manufacture a run with a bunt, and they tried to do a few different things to manufacture some runs. It didn't go well, and I think maybe today he's just trying to let them hit against a really good pitcher. That ball is going to get away. Pickoff attempt goes over to Hijack, and he short hops him. Henry Dubois is now turning and going to 3rd on the pickoff attempt. Error by Will Perkowski on that throw. So Henry Dubois goes 1st to 3rd. The attempted pickoff attempt goes wrong for Goffstown, and now runner at 3rd base, Henry Dubois, stands there with Tagliaferro, the player that hit a double in the 3rd inning against Perkowski last time. So let's see if that rattles Perkowski a little bit here. He was not happy with himself after that throw.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for him, and well, it's now mano a mano.
Yeah, this is that timely hit you're looking for, and that's what we've been talking about all the way. So Tagliaferro stands in there, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 your score. The Grizzlies leading the Bulldogs. Henry Dubois stands on 3rd base. Tagliaferro now up in the count, 1-0, and we'll see if we can get one of those timely hits here from Tagliaferro. Here's that 1-0 pitch. That ball is low, 2-0, and you hear a lot more energy coming out of that Bedford Bulldogs dugout right now as this game all of a sudden changed with a attempted pickoff gone wrong. That's exactly
where it all starts.
That's where it
starts. You have
starts.
a fast ball, and then everything's going smoothly, and it's like.
And that ball is hit hard on the ground in the hole. That's a timely hit, and that's going to score. Henry Dubois from third. Tagliaferro has an RBI, his second hit of the game, and the game is now tied. Bedford 1, Goffstown Grizzlies 1, and that will bring up Aiden O'Connell for his third at-bat of the game with speedster Dominic Tagliaferro on first base.
So when you have two pitches pitching well, it's the small mistakes that open up the door. And, you know, he had to be upset with himself throwing the ball into the dirt. It was, you know, very, very difficult for you to get mentally back on track. And for a second there, I thought he was going to pitch around him because he seemed to be off the plate.
Yeah.
And it's kind of got a hold of himself and said, I'm going to get this by him. And he was sitting on fastball. So
yeah, he was sitting on fastball. And again, those players know each other well. I know that they've played with and against each other for many, many years. So Tagliaferro knows exactly what he was coming up against. Now he stands on first base. He's got speed. We've talked about that. So now everything becomes a little bit more magnified with the speed on the base paths. And you have your best hitter on the team so far in terms of the average on the year, 531. Aiden O'Connell steps in, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tagliaferro on first and threatening, and Aiden O'Connell lifts one to center field, and that one, Simmons was playing very deep. He comes in and makes a diving catch.
That was outstanding.
A very, very nice
that
play.
Was outstanding.
And that's a game-changing type of play right there, because if that ball gets down, Tagliaferro goes to third. Easily 8 stands there with first and third and Nolan Arnold stepping to the plate, but that is not going to be the case. But 1-1.
ESPN worthy catch.
ESPN worthy for sure. For sure. So a fly ball to center fielder ends the inning and ends the threat, but Bedford gets on the board, and it's now 1-1 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Bedford Bulldogs, Goffstown Grizzlies, NHIAA Division I baseball action here at the SAU field in Bedford. You're listening to Jason Bergeron and Bill Jennings. What did I just blank there? Hey, Bill Jennings on BCTV.
You don't do that.
I was thinking John
later in life. I'm already there. As I'm trying to remember my nephew's name.
I was looking down at my roster in front of me, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? You're listening to Jason Bergeron and Bill Jennings here on BCTV, live action here at the SAU field down in Bedford. 1-1 the score, and we'll head to the top of the 6th inning, and we'll continue to see Charlie Cariello continuing to pitch a gem.
So, talking about officials?
Yeah.
You know that the NHIAA is challenged with getting more officials to become part of the game, and haven't been official for 15 years. I can tell you it was enjoyable, and we had a lot of fun. Worked with a lot of great coaches, worked with a lot of great officials, and yeah, there's going to be that part of the game where, you know, people might get upset, but that's where you learn to handle the emotion. So, hey, becoming a high school sports official is an easy call. Officiating allows you to continue to be a role model by demonstrating qualities such as impartiality, fairness, and courage. High school sports officials help protect the integrity of the games we love by teaching and enforcing the rules of the play. New officials have an opportunity to make a difference in their communities right away. To learn more about how you can become a high school sports official, please visit the NHIAA.org. Become an official. What's happening because of the lack of officials in the days when I was an official back in 1999, when I became an official, and I did it for 15 years, you spent time in what they call the minors. And we're going to watch this first pitch right here.
Yeah, Logan Simmons steps to the plate for his third at-bat of the game here against Charlie Cariello.
And I'll quickly wrap this up, where officials, in my case, would spend time working with middle school JV games, really trying to work the mechanics out. And we were evaluated all the time. And then you would move up to varsity. Nowadays, sometimes they're moving up quicker.
They are. And, you know, I'll say this. I was at the Granite State Elite facility where my daughter plays softball, and they were doing an umpire clinic that she was helping out with. And what it was really interesting to see was a national clinic where people were coming in for softball umpiring and officiating. But the level of detail that they work through and go through, it really is impressive. So it is something to, if you're interested in doing that, and certainly, you know, you aspire to do something like that, it certainly helps out, you know, these games. And as you're a good official, you know, it helps the game, and it really does help all these kids kind of pursue their dreams as they come through their system and grow. So Logan Simmons now at the plate again, his third at bat of the game, 0-2 the count, and Cariello continues to deal well. He's throwing that curveball so well. That one's in the dirt, but again, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get Logan Simmons to chase one right now. Simmons led off the game with a single and then flew out to left field in the second at bat in the third inning. So we'll see what he can do in his third attempt here against Cariello. Fastball is driven and line drive foul right at us. Almost took the coach out.
Oh yeah, James.
So another 1-2 pitch coming to Logan Simmons. Charlie Cariello, through 5 innings of work, has thrown 6 strikeouts so far, giving up that 1 run, and continues to work really well. He's given up 4 hits in the game. Scattered those 4 hits too. So there's that big curveball. That's strike 3. Henry Dubois knew it right away. He knew it before the call was made. Threw the ball down to third base, and that's the first out. Gets Simmons on the strikeout for the 7th of the game for Charlie Cariello. Again, pitching great.
Okay, the small, and I will admit, after watching the official, he is kind of slow moving. So, but Henry Dubois jumping up.
Yeah.
If he hasn't made that call, the official got to call strike now, man.
He knew it. Henry Dubois knew it right off the bat.
That's called drawing the call out of the umpire. That's a smart play.
So stepping to the plate now for Goffstown is Braden Lambert, the catcher for Goffstown. Here in the top of the 6th inning, 1-1 your score. And Lambert is 1 for 2 on the day, struck out looking in the first inning and then hit a single in the second inning, driving in the 1 run that Goffstown has scored so far. And Henry not able to squeeze that one, but it was called a strike. So 1-1 your count. 1 out here. You're listening to BCTV. Jason Bergeron, Bill Jennings on the call, and it is Andrew Fenn on the camera. He's like doing everything he can just to shade himself from the sun, which is, you know what? I'm happy to see it because we've been shading ourselves from rain for so long here. So really good to see the sun. That one is blown right by Braden Lambert for the 2nd strike of the at-bat. Lambert now down 1-2 to Cariello, and Cariello just continues to deal. He really does.
Both pitches are working at a nice pace.
Yeah, they are. This game already in the top of the 6th inning. Again, the nicest day of the year might be the shortest game of the year, which just doesn't work. But you never know. You never know what will happen here as this game continues on. And again, last night in Merrimack, we went extra innings and it was getting dark. So that's just how it works. Now 2-2 the count. That ball was low to Lambert.
What about a 25-degree difference right now? It feels like it.
Yeah. I mean, it was very, very cold last night. I put the car on 90 when I got into it just to get warm. That's a curveball fouled off his foot in the box. So another foul.
Breaking ball comes in at 2 different speeds, it seems.
Yeah, he's got a couple of different velocities on that breaking pitch, and that's what he keeps batters off balance with. And he's done a good job of it all year long. Again, batters only hitting .211 against him coming into this game. So they've got 4 hits in this game. Goffstown does 1 run on those 4 hits, and they've left 3 on base so far. Charlie struck out 7 batters through 5 1/3 innings of work. So really, really performing well. And that's a curveball just short. He was able to lay off of it. Good pitch though, because he's trying to get him the chase. And again, Coach Chapman or Coach Fox, whoever's calling those pitches over there, is continuing to kind of mix it up nicely. And I just took a peek at his Coach Chapman making those calls, and we'll see the 3-2 pitch here to Lambert. Again, I got 3-2, but the board says 2-2, so we'll see. But that ball is hit high, foul, and it's going to be over our head and into the woods. And that'll be another 2-2 or 3-2 pitch coming your way to Braden Lambert.
Can we ask these guys over here if it's coming our way? Can you? Yeah. Thanks, man.
Jack Warble giving us some updates here on the play, standing right to our right and watching these Bedford Bulldogs. Again, fans are lining up at the field and
right beside you.
They're right beside me. I mean, yeah, they're right here. They're in the booth with us. It's great. It's great. Great to have these Bedford fans here cheering them on. That ball is hit hard down the line. Lambert hit that well, and Danny Black is chasing to the wall. One hops the fence. Danny collects it, throws it into shortstop. Oh, it gets by. Shortstop Crowley. Foulis collects it, but either way, that's going to be a double. Braden Lambert hit that ball hard.
Man, they chased that ball down. Who's in left field?
That's Danny Black. Danny Black,
he's got some speed.
Yeah, well, I mean, state championship quarterback, right, for the Bedford Bulldogs football team, now playing left field, hitting 4th, cleanup hitter for the baseball team. So, just an athlete overall. And yeah, he did chase that ball down very, very well.
It's funny until you just said that. I'm going, I know that name.
Yeah. How do I know that name?
All the games, and all of a sudden it's like you take them out of their uniform.
Yeah, totally different.
Put in another uniform. said, wait a minute, that must be, it's like Tag LaFaro.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the same Tags that was a hero in the games.
Yeah, the football games, the hockey games. So that brings to the plate Ryan Strand. He's the 3-hitter for this Goffstown team. Runner on second base, Lambert, after he hit that double. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. 1-1 your score. And Strand steps to the plate. His third at bat, he struck out looking and struck out swinging so far in this game. And this is a hitter, so this is the type of player that will put a good swing on the ball either way. And the Lambert takes off, steals, and Henry Dubois with a bullet down to third base catches another runner stealing, and that eliminates Braden Lambert with a absolute rocket down to third base.
That was a killer for the Goffstown Grizzlies.
It really was.
And unfortunately, where I'm sitting, you're standing, and I'm sitting. The sun coming our way. I see him taking off, and I didn't see the ball go down by Henry throwing it down there, and all of a sudden the punch out, and wow.
You want to talk about it?
Hey, our camera guy. Hopefully the sun wasn't in his lens. And again, this is one of the challenges with the sun coming.
Yeah, at this time of day here at the SAU field.
And the other reason we're over here, why are we over here? Because there's power coming out of a shed that is about 50 feet away from us. We got to do something here.
Well, I can just tell you this, that the Goffstown Grizzlies are now 0 for 2 in steals today. And Charlie Cariello now strikes out Ryan Strand for the 3rd time of the game, and that ends the inning. So that threat just goes away because of a runner caught stealing. Henry Dubois made a great throw down to Hinton, who made a great play to corral and put the tag down, and that ends that threat. And then Ryan Strand strikes out for the 3rd time of the game, and we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning.
So
tied up.
As a fan, and if it works, you never question the coach. But in this case here, you have 1 out, you got a guy in scoring position, okay?
Yep.
And you have him. You've already seen Dubois gun a guy down at second base. You know he's got an arm. So maybe it was a hit and run.
Maybe.
But he didn't see them take the bat off his shoulder.
Yeah, he didn't swing.
So I'm trying to figure out why send a guy to third unless you're saying runs are going to be hard. I got to hope for a pass ball. The kid's been throwing some tough breaking balls in front. Maybe one will get by.
Yeah, and you're maybe trying to pick the right pitch, right?
Yep,
so
yep.
if Charlie's throwing that curveball, that ball takes a little bit longer to get to the plate. But if he throws it on the fastball, Henry Dubois has got the arm to throw him out, and he's done it. Now he's thrown out a player at second today, and he's thrown out a player at third, and he's played very, very well throughout this entire game behind the plate.
Yep.
So credit to him. And again, not only does he catch as a freshman, he pitched and got the save last night in Merrimack, pitching 1 inning in the 8th inning of that game to secure the victory. So, this is a talented squad here Bedford brings to the field every night, and that's why I say the standings are deceiving right now, because this Bedford team has really had a tough schedule early in the year.
I agree with you. I agree. To just get back to coach, I kind of liked what he did, but it's easy to question, which we all do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
But I think he, again, get to back with the coach going, hey, I got to be aggressive. My guys can run. You hope for the best. And just didn't work there.
Let's see what happens. So Will Perkowski back on the mound here for Bedford. Again, this pitching duel 1-1 the score so far in through 5.5 innings. We'll bring up the bottom of the 6th inning here. Bedford Bulldogs will bring to the plate Nolan Arnold, Danny Black, and Jack Hinton. And again, this crowd continues to grow. The fans are getting louder and louder. This is exactly the experience I expected to have here down at the field tonight. And I'm just happy the weather cooperated for once. So here we go for bottom of the 6th action. Nolan Arnold will take his cuts against Will Perkowski, who is throwing a gem himself so far in this game. 7 strikeouts so far, allowing just 5 hits on that 1 run for Bedford. And Nolan Arnold is one of those players with one of those hits. That was a kind of a half-hearted swing there by Nolan Arnold. I think about midway through the swing he decided he didn't want to swing. And he goes down quickly 0-1. No outs here.
You got the ball going into the shadows.
Yeah, the shadows change, and that he did go on that pitch as well. That ball was way outside the zone, but he's itching to hit, and Will Perkowski is throwing him breaking balls. He's not throwing him fastballs at all.
Both times indecisive. Do I want to hit? Don't I want to hit?
He's geared up to hit the fastball, and he's not really adjusting yet to that curve or that off-speed pitch that Perkowski's throwing. But here's the 0-2 pitch, and that time he goes down looking, and that'll be the first out. Again, the 8th strikeout now of the game for Will Perkowski. So that brings to the plate Danny Black. Danny Black 1 for 2 2 on the day. He had a single in the first and struck out in the fourth. So
let's go back, talking about Danny in left field, Danny being the quarterback, and then Danny hockey. You don't find too many three-sport athletes nowadays.
Danny's not a hockey guy.
Oh, I thought you said he was on the ice.
Dom Tagliaferro on the ice. Dominic Tagliaferro, yeah, tags.
Tags is
football, hockey, baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forget Black. Take him off the list. You don't see too many three-sport athletes.
That is very, very true. It's tough.
Sometimes you don't even see two-sport athletes.
That's true. That's very true. In fact, I was at the NHIAA's event this year for two-sport athletes, scholar athletes. So you had to play 2 sports and then secure a B+ or better average. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of two-sport athletes out there, and there's a lot of athletes that are securing, B+ or better averages out there as well. So I was fortunate enough to be at that event, celebrating my own son, and also a lot of other Bedford student athletes as well. So it's really great to see these athletes continue to excel on the field and in the classroom.
So we call them student athletes.
Student athletes, right? So 2-1 the count here to Danny Black. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 your score, and that ball is hit on the ground over to Dutton, and it is foul. So that would have been a tough play with the speed of Danny Black. If Dutton had secured that on the backhand, he would have had to make a very strong throw, and unfortunately it rolled foul, and it'll now be 2-2.
Between Tagliaferro and Black coming back as seniors for the high school football team.
A lot of excitement.
Everybody's got them etched in their schedule because everybody now will want to beat the top dog.
Oh, that jams Danny Black. It's a slow roller to Dutton. So again, Dutton comes up trying to fire, but the speed of Black is going to beat that out. And Dutton, I don't know if it got caught in his glove. It bobbled it.
It was like on the exchange.
On the transfer. He wasn't able to secure it. And that's going to be an infield single for Danny Black. And
that's what I have in my book.
That's what you have in your book. All right, perfect. I just want to make sure. We got to make sure we look at these books together. So Danny Black stands on first. It's a single, in my opinion, because again, I think Danny Black's speed on a slow roller was going to beat that out. But that brings to the plate either way Jack Hinton, and Jack Hinton is 0 for 2 in this game, and he struck out in the first inning. He grounded out to the first baseman in the 4th inning, and he sees a first pitch strike there. And we'll see if Coach Chapman tries to get anything rolling here. Oh, Danny Black almost gets picked off. That was a good pickoff attempt there by Perkowski.
Just had him leaning the wrong way.
Had him leaning the wrong way, but again, what led to the was a misplayed pickoff attempt there the last inning that got Henry Dubois all the way to 3rd base. So Perkowski not afraid. Oh, Hinton tries to bunt it and pops it up. Okay, so we're trying to play a little small ball, and this happened yesterday. Same thing where we tried to bunt and ended up popping it out, and it just it's hard when you try to get a bunt down to move a runner over and you pop out, but that's what happens, and that's the risk you take when you try to execute that play. It's all about execution.
I mean, it has a lot to do with the pitch. It's keeping the bat steady, and if you're trying to raise it up, if you're raising the bat, you normally will kind of fall it, but it's a science.
It's a science, yeah. Bunting is definitely something that these teams work on, and that's going to get away. He's going to stay though. Okay, so that one, I think he had him out. If he catches that ball, he's out.
Oh yeah,
he was leaning the wrong way, but
he had him on the back.
Cam Hijack, the first baseman for Goffstown, not hitting in the lineup today, but playing first base. He just wasn't able to secure the ball and actually put the tag on, but if he does, Danny Black is out.
The pickoff attempt was to the side of the runner, and he's reaching over, and the runner's coming back in, so you knew something was going to be amiss.
Perkowski definitely has a good pickoff move there, too. So here's the pitch. Hinton hits it hard on the ground down to Weber at second. He throws it to second base, gets the lead runner. No double play attempt as that ball from Weber over to Poisson definitely kind of tailed a bit, so it wasn't a great throw there, but either way they get the lead runner, and Hinton goes down on the fielder's choice and will take first base over from Danny Black, and that brings up Patrick Foulis, the second baseman, number 10 for Bedford, and Coach Chapman asked for a timeout. Oh, okay, we're going to get a pinch runner here for Hinton, so Jack Rizzo, number 6, is going to take over at first base, do some pinch running duties here for Hinton, and we will see Jack Rizzo again on that state championship football team. Was a beast on that team on the defensive side of the ball, and brings a ton of speed to the base paths right here, so it'll be good to see him take his leads, and he'll just have to pay attention because Perkowski's been very active here throwing the ball over to first base. 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 your score. You're listening to Bedford Baseball on BCTV. I'm Jason Bergeron here with Bill Jennings and Andrew Fenn on the camera, and we're bringing you all this action right down from the first base line here down at the SAU field, and just perfect weather. So
gorgeous.
Perfect weather. 1-1 the count here to Fool us. Big spot here trying to get, one more run. One of these teams is looking to scratch one run across here in this pitcher's duel between Will Perkowski and Bedford pitcher Charlie Cariello. This has just been a battle both ways and really fun to watch. Rizzo takes off, and we'll see what that arm of Lambert is, and it hits Rizzo. I think it hits Rizzo. Or no, it hit the player for Goffstown. Oh boy. Now we're in trouble.
Yeah, that was poor. And I'm going like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So that ball didn't get away. So Rizzo steals second base, clean. The ball is into right field. It just hit off of one of the players, moved to right field, but didn't get far enough, and Rizzo took off like to third, and then they back threw him.
So if you notice Coach Chapman, what he did, he just tapped his chest because he's the third base coach. He's the one that's supposed to be telling him, stay, stay. But then again, was he looking at the coach?
Right.
But Chapman, being a good coach that he is, points to himself right away and just goes, my bad, dude.
So that ends the threat there, and I'm assuming there'll be a re-enter. We'll see if there's any defensive changes. No, Hinton's already out at third. So
you really hate to see that when you have a guy in scoring position, because with 2 outs, it doesn't make any difference if you're on second or third.
Right.
Unless you're looking for a pass ball. But hey, I did want to finish that little tease that I gave, and it has nothing to do with what we have here, because we get a great game. 1-1. 10-run rule. For officials, for players, for coaches, when it gets unmerciful like it did at Nashua South, maybe we could use that as a motivator for the team.
Yes.
You ever find yourself in that position. So there was a game the year that Bedford won the Division I championship.
Okay.
And do you remember when they played Bishop Girton?
I don't that year. I was not here yet.
Okay,
I
so
wasn't here yet.
Levine was on the team. I think he was a junior that year.
Yep.
And they just beat the bejesus out of Bishop Girton to the point, okay, that it was like a 23, the exact score, it was 23-5.
Oh.
Because the 10-run rule goes away
in the playoffs. Of course it does.
And the coach, and Billy was moving players in and out, but everybody was still hitting. And the coach took a personal offense from BG, and on the front page of the Union Leader was the coach going off on, and poor Billy and the team, they come out Division I champions, and there's all this bad mouthing.
Oh, that's
the following year, the NHIAA said, let's put the 10-run rule in for the playoffs. Do you know how long that lasted? 2 years.
Really?
So now there's no...
Now it's not there, yeah. Of course.
I mean, that was an aberration when you have two teams, and BG was kind of lowest seed, and Bedford was the top seed, and they kind of worked their way up with some major upsets. But, that's the history of the 10-run rule.
No kidding.
Don't have it in postseason play.
So we head now to the top of the 7th inning here. 1-1 the score, and Cariello's still on the mound, and he's facing off against the pitcher. So this is a pitcher versus pitcher duel now against Will Perkowski. Perkowski hit a double in his first at-bat, and then flew out to the right fielder in his second at-bat. So 1-1 the score. Cariello still on the mound and just pitching a gem here for Bedford. That ball's up high and away, so 1-1 the count. Cariello so far, as I say, a gem. He's thrown 8 strikeouts through 6 innings. 8 strikeouts. He's given up 1 run on 5 hits and 3 runners left on base for Goffstown. And Cariello brings the 1-1 pitch to Perkowski. A curveball, low, 2-1. Again, it was hard to tell if the umpire was reacting to that, and even Perkowski asking back right now.
With our angle and him in the shadows with all that black and gray on the umpire, I can't even see him.
Oh, yeah, definitely the shadows are definitely creeping in on us. And Perkowski hits a ball hard to right. Bowden Smith way back at the fence, right in front of the warning track, right in front of the fence. He makes the catch.
He was almost touching the fence. That was, you're talking about 335, 340 where that one just went, and that was a clout.
Yeah, and Coach Fox said it in between innings there earlier. He came over and said Bowden Smith just playing a great right field, the first right field action he's seen this year, and playing a very, very good right field with some very well hit balls, moving him very deep into the field. But he's making those catches with ease and tracking well. So,
did you ever play the outfield?
No. I'm an infielder only.
I played the infield, but there were times, Jenny's go play the outfield.
Yeah, no, not for me. They never said that.
When that ball is hit, you got to pick it up. Depending on how the sky is. If gray sky, it's easy to pick up. Blue can get lost up there. But it's one of these. You take a step back and you look and you just say,
calibrate.
God, help me pick up this dot. And the higher it is,
the harder it is.
Oh my gosh.
So 2-0 the count here to Goffstown batter Noah Durham, seeing his third at bat of the game. 0 for 3 or 0 for 2 so far in the day. And he pops this one up. Henry Dubois and Nolan Arnold going to be converging on it again. Dubois trying to pick it up, turns well, and makes a great play. He came back to that ball. He ran to the spot and then came back to it, which is exactly what you want to do on a pop fly in foul territory.
Returns the glove, backhands it.
He's just makes a great play there. And now 2 outs for Ryan Dutton now stepping to the plate for Goffstown. We see Cariello now with 2 outs here. Top of the 7th, 1-1 your score here. Bedford Bulldogs versus the Goffstown Grizzlies. Dubois again making a great play.
Bedford Little League?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he came up through Bedford Little League, and his dad is actually coaching the JV team this year. And, and he's doing a great job. He's a big baseball guy, and he plays softball with us as well, and he just knows the game well. And he was a star pitcher and quarterback for West High School back in the day when I went to West High School. So very, very good athlete as well. As you say, you see these athletes continue to come through year after year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, listening to this game and watching this game, Henry Dubois, State of New Hampshire baseball. You're going to know that name for the next 2-3 years.
You certainly are. So Cariello brings the 1-1 pitch now to Ryan Dutton of Goffstown, a curveball that just misses high there. So 2-1 now. 2 outs here. Top of the 7th inning. SAU Field here in Bedford. Goffstown Grizzlies, Bedford Bulldogs. This place is packed now. People are just taking in the sun and taking in some great baseball. Cariello brings the 2-1 pitch high there to Ryan Dutton. Dutton flew out to left field in his first at bat and then struck out swinging in his
guys,
in the second.
Can we see the field?
And
thanks.
We continue to just kind of get, there's so many fans.
We're
amongst the fans, and as the fans continue to kind of come in, there's not much fence space, so they're coming in front of us now, and Bill Jennings does a good job of helping us clear the path. And in the meantime, Charlie Cariello issues a walk to Ryan Dutton, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first walk of the game issued. I think by either pitcher.
Yep.
By either pitcher. Yep. So let me just taking a quick look at the at my notes here, and I think that's the first walk of the game at all. So to be in the 6th or 7th inning here without a walk by either pitcher, that's impressive to say the least.
He's going to creep.
So Dylan Gaudette now steps to the plate for Goffstown. Number 15, he's DHing today, so you know he's a hitter. Runner takes off right away. That throw is high. Oh, great
nice
play.
Back up.
Carter Crowley just made basically a base-saving play at shortstop. The overthrow there from Dubois to second base got away from Foulis, and then Carter Crowley reached out and stabbed it before it went into center field. Otherwise, I think Dutton takes third base. But either way, he steals the base, the first of the game for Goffstown.
So he was creeping out there, and I'm going, he's going to go.
Yeah.
So sometimes the first baseman has a signal back to the pitcher.
So Cariello continues to work now. Dutton stands at second base. Gaudette stands at the plate. 1-1 the count now after that foul.
I'm a little surprised that he did at least give him come off the pitching plate. Just kind of, hey, I know you're there. But he just decided to go directly to the plate. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, and again with the arm of Dubois behind the plate, I'm not worried about that, right? In most cases, that ball was there in time. It just sailed on him.
That's why you teach.
That ball is lifted, popped, and Carter Crowley's going to settle under it, and that is going to end the top of the 7th for the Goffstown Grizzlies. Carter Crowley, yes.
Well, he basically helped save potentially what could have been the go-ahead run by backing up that play, because you know he's going to third if that overthrow heads out in the center field.
That's right. So here we
Fundamentals, Jason.
That's what it's all about. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning here. 1-1 your score. Bedford now coming to the plate and trying to win this in regulation, and we'll see if Bedford can just scratch across a run against Will Perkowski, but either way, we're going to start to see some changes here as these pitchers start to reach their limit. They've both been very efficient on the mound. I don't know the pitch counts for either of these pitchers, but Perkowski is stepping back out for the bottom of the 7th right now.
Alrighty, so I got to talk about what's coming up.
Okay.
Some of these games you're going to be involved in.
Okay.
So if you're enjoying this live broadcast from the SAU 25 field, we broadcast a lot of live Bedford High School sports, and for the upcoming games on our schedule, we have boys lacrosse Monday, May 8th against the Salem Blue Devils at 5:30 p.m. Baseball back here with Jason Bergeron on Wednesday, May 17th, the Wyndham Jaguars at 4:15. Then we're down with Jason Bergeron and his old cohort, his hockey buddy, Steve Tempesta, who also did some softball with you.
Yep.
Softball Thursday, May 18th at the Sabowski Field, Manchester Central Memorial at 4 p.m. And again, the girls lacrosse Friday, May 26th, Newburyport, Massachusetts at 6:30. We're taking that live feed from Newburyport. And we should be, it's here? Oh, well, if you were, I'm giving the TV.
Yeah.
You don't have to know where it is because you'll be watching on TV, but the game, it will be at Bedford High School Bulldogs Stadium. It's good to get that tap on the shoulder with your
Andrew Fenn,
production guy just
he
looking
stays
at
on
you
top
and
of
hands
us.
like, oh my God.
He knows everything, but when we're saying something wrong, he corrects us right away. He has all the details.
But I do want to emphasize, those games will be on Comcast 23 and 1072, as well as streaming on your mobile apps, as well as streaming on your streaming channels, Roku, I should say, Apple TV. God, have I said that enough?
Yeah, I think so. If you haven't listened, check out YouTube, Roku, Amazon, all those things.
Bedford Community TV YouTube channel, and don't forget the Bedford Community Television website.
I think Andrew's going to be very happy with all the reads that you were able to get in today.
If you say you don't know where the games are, or you missed it, then you're just not looking.
Right. So we come bottom of the 7th action here. 1-1 the score. 2-1 is the count to the first batter of the inning, Patrick Foulis, who was up at the plate when Jack Rizzo was picked off of second base after he successfully stole second base, and that ended the last inning. So Patrick Foulis comes back to the plate with a fresh count, and now it's 2-1, no outs. Again, bottom of the 7th inning, 1-1 your score in this game. So far, a great game between the Goffstown Grizzlies and Bedford Bulldogs. And Patrick Foulis wears that pitch on the back shoulder blade, and he will be a leadoff runner after being hit by a pitch. And just after I said that was the first walk of the game, well, that's the first hit batter of the game, basically a walk.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see these pitchers who have pitched great start to wear down just a little bit, and it's expected in the 7th inning here.
I'm wondering
so Coach
if
Chapman,
the coach would come out, Goffstown coach, come out just to kind of settle him down a little bit, because you saw how he reacted after he threw over to first and created the 2-base error.
Yep.
But he knows, but coaches know the temperament of their players, and he's a senior and seasoned veteran, so coach is going to leave him alone.
Yeah, he's going to leave him out there, and Coach Chapman did, the next hitter, Bowden Smith, he did have Bowden Smith come down to talk to him at the third base line, so maybe putting a play on. Bowden Smith looking to put a bunt down there and attempts the bunt but misses it, so it's strike one. So 0-1 the count here to Bowden Smith. He's played a great right field today. He is 0 for 2 in the game at the plate, but his right field play has been phenomenal all throughout this game. So we'll see if he can make something happen here. Foulis takes a lead at first, and the pickoff attempt happens. He's got just about the right distance of a lead there. I wouldn't take too much more with this move by Perkowski, but that was just well executed on both sides. So again, 0-1, no outs here, bottom of the 7th inning, another pickoff attempt. Perkowski is very active in terms of attempting to make sure that he tries to keep these runners close for Bedford. Again, one of those times he threw one that went up the right field line and ended up causing the runner to go first to third. Bowden Smith puts a perfect bunt down. That's going to move Foulis over to second base. That's exactly what they were looking to do. Bowden's excited about that play, as he should be. That's a well-executed game execution.
Textbook
is what it's about.
Execution, and he had the pitch to do it.
So the sack bunt there by Bowden Smith, and that moves the runner Patrick Foulis after being hit by a pitch over to second base. Now 1 out, runner in scoring position at second base is Foulis, and that brings to the plate Henry Dubois, who struck out in the first inning and then had a hard hit line drive single in the 5th inning, his second at bat of the game. So he's 1 for 2 on the day. And this Louis Tiant-like move of Will Perkowski will come into play here as he keeps Foulis close. Foulis, a very good base runner, definitely knows the game, watches the game, and he's not one that's going to, be in a situation at second base there in terms of being picked off or have that type of moment happen. Perkowski keeps looking back at him. The 1-0 pitch comes into Dubois. It's 1-1, taken there by Henry Dubois. So 1 out, 1-1 your score, bottom of the 7th inning. This place is packed. The SAU field is packed, and hoping to explode here with a walk-off type of hit by one of these players coming up here for Bedford. And here comes the pitch by Perkowski. Way outside, the back throw there by Lambert. Back to second base. That's a risky throw there, but Lambert,
absolutely risky and absolutely unnecessary, because that's what can cause issues. That's an overthrow. He had nobody behind him. That goes into center field. Your player's going. Your runner's coming.
Game's over.
Third. Yeah.
Game's over.
Well, to third
maybe
anyhow.
Not. Logan Simmons got a good arm in center field, so maybe not. But Henry Dubois hits one to the right side. That's going to move Foulis over to third base. Dubois has a very functional at bat there, moving the runner from second to third. So Foulis now stands just 90 feet away, and pinch hitter coming to the plate is Maddox Muir. And John Muir, if you're listening on that flight right now, there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 1-1 here, and your son's stepping to the plate. So if you're listening, this is the time to really pay attention, because big moment in the game here.
Yeah, put that drink down.
So Maddox Muir steps to the plate.
Or maybe get a drink.
Yeah, you never know. So Dubois grounds out there, 2 outs now in the inning, and Foulis stands at third base, and we got a little timeout there. Lambert went out to check on Perkowski, maybe talk about this batter, if they have any advanced scouting on him, but Maddox Muir comes into this game. He has hit the ball hard all season long. He's hitting .231 on base 42% of the time, and he stands in against Perkowski for the first time and sees a first pitch strike. A little bit more difficult coming against a pitcher like Perkowski because he's got such electric stuff, but you've seen Bedford pick up. They've been better as they come through a couple of times. Maddox seeing him for the first time, though, and we'll see if he can have a little moment here. Senior Maddox Muir, hockey captain, and now a moment here against Goffstown to maybe get a game-winning hit. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He swings right through that pitch.
That was a good pitch, and that was an overpowering pitch.
It really was.
Good hard heat.
And you can see Perkowski just, he knows the situation. He knows this moment, and this is just two athletes going at each other.
Anything around the plate, protect the plate.
0-2 pitch comes in, and that's going to be strike 3. Braden Lambert knew it right before the umpire even called it, and Maddox looks back at the pitcher's mound, and he goes down on 3 pitches, that last one looking, and that will be it. And well, for the second night in a row, I've watched for the second night in a row, this Bedford Bulldogs team is going to extra innings.
Yeah, but the temperature's a lot better.
The temperature's way better.
Hey, we said that the game was moving along quickly.
We did.
And it is.
We didn't say it was going to go to extras.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right?
So, yep. What can I say? Hey, look, we talked about BCTV, but don't forget, WBNH, LPFM 105.1, your Bedford radio station, carries many of our games. Our radio program director is actually at a radio, what would we call it, Andrew? A radio conference, or is he just having a good 3 days in Philly, I think, telling. But anyways, Harry Kozlowski does a great job as our radio program director. And by the way, it's easy to listen to Bedford 105.1 online. Go to wbnh.bedfordnh.org. Let me emphasize, you don't go www. You just go wbnh.bedfordnh.org for the streaming link. We also stream in apps like TuneIn, MyTuna, Simple Radio, and Radio God. And just tell Alexa, and that's what I do. Do you know it?
I do not. I do not use Alexa, no.
Alexa, 105.1. Yes, Jason. I'd be happy to put it on.
I like it. So, talking a little bit about the upcoming schedule for these squads, Bedford actually, so they played last night in Merrimack. They went extra innings and ended up, winning that game in extra innings. They play today here against Goffstown, and then they head to Maine tomorrow. So they're actually playing in Sanford, Maine against the Bangor, Maine baseball team, which is where Coach Chapman grew up. So Coach Chapman each year brings his squad up to Maine to play one of these games, and tomorrow they'll be playing in Maine. So they'll be 3 games in 3 days here for this team, and that's what's upcoming. But in division, Bangor, Maine, that's way up there. But they're playing in Sanford, so that's the good news for the parents at least driving, right? So upcoming after that for league play, the Bedford Bulldogs will be playing Manchester Central West on May 8th, and then Timberlane on May 10th. And this Goffstown team will be after Bedford. They're going to see some good teams. They're going to see Wyndham, Salem, and Portsmouth. So they got some big games coming up as well. But this there's no doubt NHIAA baseball is wide open this year, and there's a lot of good baseball teams out there.
There is.
We're going to head to the top of the 8th inning here, and the new pitcher for Bedford is going to be number 12, Steele Lambert. Steele Lambert has worked 7.2 innings this year so far. He's got his batters are hitting .214 against him. He's got a 1.83 ERA, 5 strikeouts, 6 walks, and we'll see if Steele in this moment here can continue to keep these Goffstown bats at bay, and see if we can get this Bedford squad back up and hitting.
This has been a very clean baseball game.
Yeah.
I mean, really clean. There hasn't been, other than the throwing out at first base and the 2-base error, I mean, it's been clean, and the pitchers have pitched well.
Heads up on this way. This one's coming right down the first base line, but lands short of the fence there. So ending the game there for Cariello, his line will end up at 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for Bedford in the field while he was pitching, and 3 runners left on base. He ends with 8 strikeouts in the game, and no decision here for him in this game, but he certainly pitched a beauty.
That's a nice line.
Oh, that ball is hit hard to left field. Danny Black coming in on it and makes the catch in left field. So Trevor Poisson, the leadoff hitter for Goffstown, is out, and
That was a can of corn.
that was a can of corn. So Coach,
He makes it sound like it's like going. Oh, caught.
Coach Fox just came over, and he heard me saying that was a line drive or a hard hit ball, and instead he corrected me and said that's a can of corn, an easy loopy fly ball.
He's still coaching not only baseball but broadcasting.
Now he's coaching broadcasters, and you know what? He's he can coach me anytime when it comes to broadcasting. That's for sure. I think the only thing I can coach him at is hockey. So that's probably the only thing I can coach him at.
And you want to know something? At least you're doing baseball. Hey, I'll ask. Hey, Lauren, want to do hockey? No.
Well, let me tell you something. I had one experience with him doing a broadcast of hockey with me. Yeah. And I mean, this was the first year of COVID when I started.
Okay.
And he did that girls game with me, and
all right.
Wow. I mean, just calling a game with him. He didn't know any of the players. He knew nothing about it, but he called a phenomenal game there, and it was fun to watch.
It's in his genes.
It just is. So that brings to the plate Jake Weber for Goffstown.
I forgot about that game that he helped you out on.
Yes. And
it's like he'd been calling it.
Yeah, he had been calling all season. He knew all the players. He knew like their names. He was saying them right. He knew everything about it, and all I was doing was just filling in the gaps. So it was an easy game for me to call because he did all the work. So Jake Weber quickly down 0-2 here.
He's like the guy that even if he talks to you, like, oh my God, he talked to me great.
Right. So Weber fouls that one off, and top of the 8th inning here. We're getting some extra time in this beautiful weather down at the SAU field. 1-1 your score. Goffstown Grizzlies and Bedford Bulldogs in a pitcher's duel so far. Steele Lambert has just taken over for Charlie Cariello, and he faces his second batter here, Jake Weber, and he is up on Jake Weber, 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out here, and we continue to just kind of watch these teams just battle it out, and you're just waiting for that one timely hit here. That's what we're looking for, or the mistake, right? The mistake on either squad. That's what's going to happen at high school baseball, and he gets Jake Weber swinging wildly
Slow,
at a pitch.
Little breaking ball, high, coming in fat, and it's like, I gotta kill it.
Yeah.
No.
Nope, I missed it. So 2 outs now in the top of the 8th inning. Steele Lambert has worked through the first 2 batters, the 8 and 9 hitters for Goffstown. He will now have the top of the order, Logan Simmons, coming back to the plate for his 4th at-bat of the game. He is 1 for 3 on the game so far with a single in the first inning, a fly ball to left field in the 3rd inning, and then a strikeout looking in the 6th inning. And Steele starts him off with a first pitch strike, and Steele is doing very well so far. So looking good.
Sometimes when you take a look, okay, relief pitch is coming in, and you go, oh, the stud just went out, and you got another good pitcher in there.
Got another good pitcher there, and that's a good pitch. Just missed on the inside corner, but that was a very, very good pitch. This Bedford Bulldog squad, as I said earlier, you have Aiden O'Connell, who's leading the league league in strikeouts. Then you got Patrick Fullers, who's pitching very, very well, and his velocity continues to increase as the weather gets warmer. That's what I think, at least. And then you got Charlie Cariello, who just throws another gem of a game here. And then all of these arms in the bullpen: Steele Lambert, Bowden Smith, Henry Dubois, Ryan O'Connor, Nolan Arnold. I mean, they've all kind of, Jack Hinton, they've all come out and kind of spot filled in, and they've just got a lot of depth on the pitch, on the mound.
And
that's a 2-2 pitch
and
now.
that bodes well. All you want to do is get into the playoffs, and because a lot of teams get in, and I expect the Bedford to continue to improve on their record, is the depth of your pitching determines how far you go into the playoffs. It really does. You need the hitting, but if you have...
Oh, that ball is driven to right field. Bowden Smith came in first and then gets beat just over his head. Logan Simmons looking all the way at third. He's going to pull up with a stand-up double, a 2-out stand-up double. Look, the sun is really
and all fairness
playing.
to him, he had to search for that ball.
Yeah.
And when that's coming out, doesn't have the height, and that was more kind of like a flat line drive. It comes at you quicker. You have to pick it up, and the sun's there. It's not directly, but he gave a great effort to that. That one, I would say,
he did, and
not on you, dude.
That sun is really playing hard. He's got the sunglasses on there, and that was just a hard hit line drive. He kind of first stepped in, and then it just beat him right over the top.
To pick it.
So that brings to the plate Braden Lambert, the catcher for this Goffstown team. Two outs in the top of the 8th inning. Runner on second base, Logan Simmons, after that double. Braden Lambert, fouls off that first pitch. He is 2 for 3 on the day. He struck out in the first inning, and then has a single and a double to his credit here in this game. So another really strong hitter here coming up for Bedford. He hits a ball out to right field, and this one tracked better by Bowden Smith.
Talk about poetic justice. Well done, young man.
He catches that in right field with ease and says, "Okay, I got this. Let's go hit."
Yeah. And by the way, I gave in my book that was a base hit when it got over his head.
Yeah. There you go. I like it.
Yep.
So Steele Lambert comes in the top of the 8th inning. He allows 1 hit and strikes out 1. 1 runner left stranded, and we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning now. Your Bedford Bulldogs are going to bring to the plate Dominic Tagliaferro, Aiden O'Connell, and Nolan Arnold, and we'll see if this top of the order can scratch a run across and win this game here for Bedford.
So I'm going to talk about the Boots Club.
Yeah.
In case you missed it before, you know how important the Boots Club is, Jason?
I do, for sure.
And if we had a concession stand down here, I guarantee you volunteers would be manning it, and with the crowd that we have down here, I think they all wish we had some sort of concession stand. But anyways, the Booster Club, the Bedford Bulldogs Athletic Booster Club, is always looking for new members and volunteers to help support the Bedford High School athletic programs. The Booster Club meets in the BHS Media Center at 7 p.m. on the first Wednesday of every month. Visit bbabc.net. That's BBAC8. Try that again 5 times. There's a lot of B's and A's. bbabc.net. bbabc.net to learn more about how you can help or request more information. Can't do it. Don't have all these scholarships. Don't have some of the athletic equipment that is provided. Shirts for Glory Division I champs.
That's right.
I mean, the Booster Club just does a phenomenal job. By the way, you got guys, you got Wicked Butcher.
Wicked Good Butcher.
Oh my God, when they grill the burgers and they grill the dogs, they don't do dogs.
No.
Do dogs?
They sell them for sure.
Okay, but the hamburgers, they're like the best.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like during the football season when that grill going, come on. Is that like the best?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Anyway, Booster
down
Club,
there.
The Booster Club man's that, and we want to thank them.
So I'm gonna cut you off here because we're heading into the bottom of the 8th here, and Will Perkowski for Goffstown stepping back onto the mound, going extra innings here for this Goffstown team. So the pitch count is 120. I don't know how many pitches he's thrown so far this game, but you can only throw 120.
Okay.
He comes onto the mound here in the bottom of the 8th inning, throwing an efficient game. He's got 9 strikeouts on the day so far, and he takes the first pitch is a ball to Dominic Tagliaferro, the leadoff hitter for Bedford, who is 2 for 3, strikeout in the first inning, and then a double and a single, and he had the RBI here in this game for Bedford. So he takes a first pitch ball, and that one is driven to left field and just right at the left fielder, Ryan Strand. I mean, that is a perfectly hit ball, and just unfortunate luck there, going right to Strand in left field for the first out.
Which is really interesting because he's playing left center. He was floated over more to the left center side. It's almost like it's almost like they had a playbook on.
They know Tagliaferro. Tagliaferro is known in the game for sure. So they had a beat on it, and that brings up Aiden O'Connell, who has been quiet tonight at the plate. He is 0 for 3. Again, he came into this game hitting .521 for the season, or .531, and this is the type of player that can end it with one swing of the bat. He has put one out of here. Last night he hit a ball at Merrimack. If you've been to Merrimack's field where they play their high school games, there's a fire hydrant in right center field. He hit a ball out 20, 30 feet over that fire hydrant last night. Had to leg out the home run because there's no fence. But that ball is a home run. It's hit those cars out there in right center field. So unbelievable power here. And Aiden O'Connell gets hit on the thigh. So he is going to take first base after getting hit by a pitch. The second hit batter by Perkowski in the game. And O'Connell will take first base, now bringing to the plate Nolan Arnold, who is 1 for 3 on the day. He had a single in his first at-bat and then struck out twice the next 2 times looking. And we'll see if Aiden O'Connell's probably not going to, he's going to try to walk it off a little bit, as that thing's going to tighten up. He hit him right on the calf.
I think
Coach said, take a second.
I think they're both the pitcher and Aiden are some friendly smiles and chit-chat going back and forth.
Yeah, they know each other. Again, Aiden O'Connell and Will Perkowski both, going on to play college baseball somewhere.
Big grins.
Southern New Hampshire is
sorry, dude,
Will
I didn't mean to do
going.
that. Do you think I really meant to hit you?
Right. We're good. After the game, they'll be all smiles. But Nolan Arnold takes that first pitch and lifts it into just over in foul play. Okay, just over the first baseman's head in foul play. But nice play there by Jake Weber to come over into foul ground and catch that ball. And Nolan Arnold is retired on the pop out on the first pitch. So, runner on first base, bottom of the 8th inning, 2 outs now, 1-1 your score, and runner on first is Aiden O'Connell, and that brings to the plate Danny Black, number 9. He is 2 for 3 on the day, 2 singles mixed in with a K in the middle of those 2 at-bats, and he stands in for his 4th at-bat against pitcher Will Perkowski, who starts him off with a fastball strike. And we're just waiting to see what is going to happen here down at the SAU field. There's the steal by O'Connell on the curveball. He gets down. That ball sails into center field. He goes to third, and Logan Simmons comes up firing. Aiden O'Connell slides into third base. So the steal works. The overthrow by Lambert catching, and Aiden O'Connell takes third base. Now 2 outs, runner on third base, and boy, we've seen this happen before. I believe this is the exact same scenario in the 7th inning.
It was when I think it was Mira that was up at the time.
Yep. So stolen base, and then the error there on the catcher on the overthrow goes to Lambert, and Danny Black now has a chance with 1 swing of the bat, and just any single scores Aiden O'Connell from third base, and this game is over.
And it's got to be a hit. The catcher's an excellent catch. He's not going to let too much go behind him.
Oh, and Danny takes pitch right down the middle, now 0-2. So
I don't know what they're saying up there, but it's like anything close.
Yeah, that pitch looked like it was the one to hit. So, but again, this
not
is
like they're like anticipating, and they're saying, well, in the repertoire I have, he throws a fastball now.
So here comes the 0-2 pitch now to Danny Black, and Danny swings at that pitch low, and that's gonna end the at-bat and end the inning. We're gonna head to the top of the 9th inning, and this score is 1-1, and we get extra baseball between 2 really great teams.
Absolutely. I'm running out of things. I'm not going to talk
That's going to be the 10K. Let's talk about the line for Will Perkowski before we get into the reads. We're going to head. I'm gathering his day is over, but I don't know that for sure because I don't know his pitch count. But if it is over, he's given up 1 run on 6 hits, 5 runners left on base for Bedford. Actually, 6 runners through that inning, and 10 strikeouts now for Will Perkowski on this game. So he has really pitched a gem here for Goffstown, and they needed it. They needed every bit of it because Charlie Cariello pitched a gem for them too, starting 1 run, 5 hits for Goffstown. They've left 3 runners on base. He had 8 strikeouts through 7 innings, and then Steele Lambert came in and just gave up that 1 hit in the top of the 8th. No run scored. That's what's gotten us here to the top of the 9th inning here at the SAU field on a gorgeous Friday night.
I don't know what I could add to that.
Nothing. Yes.
Nothing. I mean, I think it's this is the kind of ball game that you come to hope you see when it comes to Goffstown and Bedford, and you hope you get to see when good teams are playing one another, and it's because warm weather brings out the good.
Yeah.
I hate New England cold baseball, starting in April and then the crazy first week in May. It's ugly.
It is.
It's just like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
You know? And I think if you take a look at the way Bedford has played, they played better in warmer days. I think the Concord game was that one of the 75-degree, that we had that.
Yeah, it was almost 90.
Yeah, that's right. It was kind of crazy.
And it was the day that we were set up behind home plate, so behind the dish there, we were in the shade most of the game, but otherwise we would have been in the sun and it would have been really hot.
And the broadcasters that are calling the games, they have better attitudes when it's warm.
We do our best to be out here and just calling the game, but again, VCTV and WBNH covering all these games and providing this type of access to fans here in town and then all over the country, including John Muir, who's flying in from California right now back home. So it's worldwide, this BCTV and WBNH broadcast, and it's fun to be a part of. So we head to the top of the 9th inning. We're still on the mound. Steele Lambert for Bedford. No other defensive changes for this Bedford team today. And Ryan Strand steps to the plate for his 4th at-bat of the game. And he's taken 2 straight balls from Steele Lambert here. And Ryan Strand so far in this game 0 for 3 strikeouts in the game. Unlike him as a 3-hitter, especially on this Goffstown team. So you look for him to be looking for a pitch to hit here, and he's not seeing one so far. 3-0 the count here on Strand, and Steele Lambert just trying to kind of get back into that routine that he had in the last inning when he came out to relieve Charlie Cariello. That sun is warm today for sure. That pitch is up and out, and those 4 pitches, none of those were really close to the zone.
Not at all, and you hate to start the game, I should say the inning out with a walk.
Yeah, and that's going to bring to the plate the big hitter, the big pitcher so far for the game for Goffstown, and then he's had a couple of big hits, a couple loud outs, but he's got a double and 2 flyouts to right field, but both of those fly balls to right field were really well hit and done. Bowden Smith did a great job tracking him down. That is the batter, Will Perkowski. He is 1 for 3 on the day, again attending Southern New Hampshire University next year, and here we go. Will Perkowski seeing his first at-bat here against Steele Lambert. Runner on first base is Ryan Strand after that walk, and Steele's got a good pickoff move, and he keeps Ryan Strand close. Nolan Arnold catching that ball, and all these players now with sunglasses on because the sun is beating right down on us as it continues to set for the night. Turn to bunt is Will Perkowski. He pulls it back, and that's going to be a strike. So looks like Will Perkowski had no intentions of bunting there, but just trying to get Steele Lambert to throw a ball. And after 4 straight balls, I understand why they did that. Now 0-1 the count here to Perkowski. Throw over to first base. Not in time, so Strand continues to work over there at first base. Steele Lambert keeping a close eye on him. Perkowski sets up, gets ready for the 0-1. Again, another throw over. Steele Lambert really keeping him close.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Bringing one to the plate and letting Henry Dubois throw him out is another way to do it. So we've seen that happen 2 of 3 times today. So three pickoff attempts. I think the first base coach is saying you got a little bit more room here, so he's maybe going to stretch that out a little bit more. 0-1 the count, no outs here, top of the 9th inning, 1-1 your score. That pitch comes in, is high and away to Will Perkowski, and 1-1 your count now. Steele Lambert just working through again, just kind of in that moment, trying to throw strikes, letting his defense make the play. 1-1, again a throw over to first base.
That's 5 times over there.
Yep. So again, sometimes in that can be good or bad. From a hitter's perspective, you're kind of up there waiting for a pitch, and you're falling asleep kind of. And then Strand takes off. That ball's fouled off. A hit and run on there, and they were trying to make something happen. And Perkowski fouls one off into the woods. Now 1-2 the count. And Perkowski struggled today at the plate. So I'm sorry, Perkowski has hit the ball well. I was thinking Strand is the one that struggled, but he's on first base already. So here we go with the 1-2 count. No outs here, top of the 9th inning. Tie score, again a throw over. Nolan Arnold staying very busy over there at first base, collecting these pickoff attempts from Steele Lambert. Steele looks in for the call. Henry Dubois sets up, and here comes that 1-2 pitch. That's going to be strike. Oh, well,
Yeah, you got
I
to
call it strike
remember
3.
we're on the first base line.
I had that one. Henry didn't move his
He
glove.
had right height,
Yeah.
but you don't know where it was on the plate.
Henry didn't move his glove very much there, so
Yeah, I know. So
he might
I'm
be set
leaning
up.
towards you.
He might be set
Yeah,
up
that
off
looked
the
real
plate.
good.
Maybe that's it. But 2-2 the count, no outs here, top of the 9th
But a
inning,
good
1-1
catcher,
your
and
score.
you're right, he did that. He didn't move his glove.
That ball is hit hard on the ground. That's going to be a base hit to left field. So Perkowski gets on for the second time this game with a hard hit ground ball. And he is looking, Perkowski is yelling back to his dugout saying, let's go. He's looking for this win here. He's pitched well enough to earn the win.
Yep.
And, you know, he's trying to rally his troops here, and they have a rally going, that's for sure. That's going to bring Coach Chapman out to the mound. So a hard hit single by Will Perkowski now has runners on first and second with no outs in the top of the 9th inning. Coach Chapman is going to take a walk out, talk to Steele. He's got his whole infield in there, including catcher Henry Dubois, and they're talking things over right now. I don't see anybody warming up in the
nobody
bullpen.
warming up, so this is just talking about positioning, talking about remember what you got to do, where the ball's going to go.
And it'd be interesting to see if he does have to make a move where he would go. As I said, they played last night in Merrimack. Patrick Foulis pitched that game and then was relieved by Henry Dubois. And but they got a game tomorrow too. So they got to make sure that they reserve enough arms to be able to pitch that game tomorrow.
Right.
And so it'd be interesting to see if they do have to make a move where they might go. But it doesn't look like they're making a move right now. They're just talking things over, trying to settle the troops and make sure they understand the game plan in this situation, knowing that they got Noah Durham coming up, the right fielder for Goffstown. So they got the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up now with runners on first and second with no outs. 1-1 your score here in Bedford, and that sun is setting. The wind is a perfect breeze, and
Right now,
couldn't ask for a better day for a ball game. I can tell you that.
Yeah, right in our eyes, and I have to give a shout out to Andrew, who's been on his feet in the stands with a camera, plus running graphics on his phone.
Impressive to say the least, and wow, he that was way outside that pitch, but bunted foul. So Noah Durham trying to do a job there by getting a bunt down and moving these runners into scoring position second and third, and he doesn't get that bunt down, but there may be another bunt attempt here with the 0-1 pitch coming from Steele Lambert. Steele looks back, brings it quickly. That bunt does get down. They're going to try. Nope, I thought Steele was going to come up firing at first, but he does not. He goes to first base, gets the out at first, but that does move the runners over to second and third with 1 out, bringing up Ryan Dutton. So Noah Durham does a good job of sack bunting his way, his teammates over to second and third base, and that sets the stage for Ryan Dutton, who is 0 for 2 on the day with a walk, struck out once and flew out to left field, and we'll see if there's any squeeze play on. There is a squeeze play. The bunt is on. The bunt gets down. That's going to be a run scored. Steele Lambert comes up, throws it to first, but perfectly executed suicide squeeze, and that will be the second run of the game for Goffstown.
Talk about
perfect execution.
Oh my gosh, small ball execution. I mean, that was we had a clinic earlier in terms of some of the plays that we've seen, and that was excellent. Got the pitch straight, fastball down the middle. You deliver. It's a do or die. You're either looking good like they just did now.
Yeah, they look like,
the run is dead.
That was just perfectly executed. Yep. Ryan Dutton gets that bunt down. The run scores. Ryan Strand scores from third. Again, leadoff walks kill you, right? So when you get that leadoff walk, that usually scores that run. And that ball is lifted to right field. Bowden Smith coming in hard, makes a good catch, sliding catch to preserve the 1-run
So
game.
the outfielder's got to call off the guy that's got his back towards the ball.
Yeah, I don't think he could see it.
Yeah.
I don't think he could see
might
it.
be right.
Dylan Gaudette just kind of lofted one out to right field, but it was short. Patrick Foulis was coming out. It was going to be a tough play for him. Bowden Smith really couldn't see it coming in, but he kept coming in, running in, and kind of made a sliding catch to end the inning. But Goffstown scores the go-ahead run, now up 2-1, and that will bring up the Bedford Bats here in the bottom of the 9th inning, looking to tie or take the walk-off win. But they're going to need some magic here. I'm wondering if Perkowski's coming back to the mound. That's my question right now.
It looks like it is. It looks like he is. Yep. He's coming back.
He's coming back. All right. Well, then there's not much else you can say other than this Bedford squad is, they've seen him. They're just going to have to execute just like Goffstown just did to try to pull back, either get back into a tie or secure the win. Perkowski coming back out for a 9th inning. I wish I could get a pitch count. I'm going to see if I can.
This is just my philosophy. It's easy for me to be sitting over here and saying this, but the way he's throwing the ball, anything near the plate, swing.
Yeah.
They've taken a lot of strike calls.
They have. Yeah, they certainly have. And again, easier said than done. Where you're standing here on the first base line, but
with the sun in our eyes.
Right. And
brutal.
My game changed. Puts Hinton on base Hinton got on with a fielder's choice in his last at bat, and Jack Rizzo pinch ran for him. So I don't think they can pinch run for him again. They might be able to, but if they do, I think he wouldn't be able to re-enter the game. So I believe that's the right rule there. So Hinton now stands on first base, and they'll utilize his speed with Foulis now at the plate, no outs, and they try to get the bunt down. So again, you see small ball execution at work here, and Foulis not able to get that bunt down, but the pitch is fouled off.
His attempt was to more lean into it as opposed to squaring around a little bit more, and that can throw your balance off, which creates a foul ball.
Yeah, it looked like a low and outside pitch too, but
sometimes you can pull that bat back, but again, could have cut the outside corner.
So 0-1 the count here, no outs, and the Foulis pulls back the bunt, and it's going to be a ball. So 2-1 the score. Grizzlies took the lead in the top of the 9th inning. Bedford now trying to scratch across a run to either tie or take the lead here, or win the game, I should say. And Hinton stands on first after a leadoff single in the inning. Foulis now at the plate, 1-1 the count. Here on BCTV. Another pitch is taken for a strike. To your point, Bill, you just got to swing the bat, right, in these spots.
You don't get on base by not swinging. I mean, you and I are over here, and again, we can't tell how close it is to the plate one way or the other, but
that ball is going to be low, so 2-2. So 2-2 the count out of Foulis. I will say I did get an update. Thank you to my lovely wife, Amy, for texting me. She's listening in here in the game. And, she's listening in, and she did tell me that probably 4 or 5 pitches ago, the pitch count was 105 for Perkowski. So he is nearing that number of 120, but that is going to be a strikeout of Foulis for the first out of the inning. Goes down, and that brings up number 8, the right fielder, Bowden Smith, who is 0 for 2 on the game. He had a sac bunt in the 7th inning, trying to move that runner into scoring position, which he did. So he is 0 for 2 on the game here, and he'll take his 4th at bat against Will Perkowski, who has just thrown his 11th strikeout of the game here in this really just pitching exhibition by him. And here's that pitch, way outside, a ball. So 1-0 your count to Bowden Smith. Again, Bowden Smith coming into this game didn't have any at bats. He had been pitching mostly, and this game got the start in right field. Has played a phenomenal right field in this game, but just getting his first at bats of the season here. So see if he can do something special. And that one almost hits him in the head, and it's going to be 2-0.
I'm going to state the obvious. They're going to cut the run at second base somehow, some way. And it looks like Billy's decided just to go full swing.
Yeah, I think it depends on your what you have out there on first base for speed, and they know all these numbers and who can get where and when. I would say based on the fact that he was pinch ran for in the last inning, the last time he was on base, that maybe not a base stealing threat. But 3-0 the count now, so the best way to get there would be to put another runner on in Bowden Smith. So let's see if we can see the first walk of the game issued by Perkowski. He's hit a few batters, but he hasn't walked one yet.
Green light? 3-0?
I don't think you go 3-0. I don't think, not, again, it depends on who's up in the situations, but I think Bowden seeing his first at-bats. This one's coming right down the middle for sure, and that's a take all the way. So 3-1 the count now, so we'll see if I think Perkowski will just continue pumping the zone now.
Oh, yeah.
See what happens. 3-1 now. You're sitting.
Just go, hit me.
Yeah.
If I'm going to lose.
That's way inside. He misses way inside, so he issues his first walk of the game, and that gets Hinton over to second base and moves Bowden Smith to first base, bringing up freshman Henry Dubois, who
might have everything to do that he's 110 pitches right now.
He's got to be nearing it. Coach is coming out now, so this could be last batter, or it could be the hook for the number of pitches, and it is. He just gave him a fist bump, and they're going to make the move here, and Will Perkowski's going to.
For this young man.
It really was. I mean, you got to tip your cap to him. He pitched a great game. He had, he's going to finish with 1 run given up on the 6 hits, 6 runners left on base for Bedford, 11 strikeouts in the game, and just that 1 walk, 2 hit batters, and he'll leave the game. I'm gathering. We'll have to take a look at where he goes positionally, but they're going to make a move here, and we'll see who the new pitcher is, and we won't be able to give you a whole ton of information, but we'll see. So 2-1 your score.
Oh.
We're going to go. Okay, so Logan Simmons is going to come to the mound. So
do you want us to take a break? Is that what you're saying?
Taking a break. Okay, yeah. So as Logan Simmons warms up here, we're here in the top of the 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th inning. 2-1 your score. Grizzlies lead your Bedford Bulldogs. Bulldogs have runners on first and second base with 1 out. Logan Simmons is warming up for Bedford, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
Andrew's been on his feet for 9 innings. I think he deserves
a break.
Down.
I agree.
All right, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Actually, that wasn't live, just so we have a break in the action. Oh. You can go 9 innings straight or more if you want to call.
Oh, we could. You're ready. Unless you want to have something, some energy here. Jason, anything? Quick?
I'm good, thank you. It's going to be like a 3-hour broadcast. Can't do it.
And welcome back here to the SAU field for this amazing NHIAA Division I baseball game between the Goffstown Grizzlies and the Bedford Bulldogs here in the top of the 9th inning. It's 2-1 score. Grizzlies lead the Bedford Bulldogs, and the Grizzlies have just gone to the bullpen for the first time of the game. Will Perkowski pitching a gem. They've gone to Logan Simmons, who was originally in center field, and they've brought him onto the mound. He is a curveball type pitcher, but he is going to see his first action, and he's going to face Henry Dubois for the first batter, and we will see if Henry Dubois can have a little bit of a magic moment here, seeing if he can get Jack Hinton from second base to score. So 1-0 the count to Dubois. That pitch is well high, and 2-0 the count now. So again, these games, you never know what happens as these pitchers kind of change out. Perkowski, after pitching that gem, has moved over to first base. I'm trying to get a number on the center fielder. The Simmons came from center field to the mound, and I can't tell who's out in center field right now, but we'll see if we can get that number. But Simmons has come in and thrown the first 3 pitches, all balls to Henry Dubois, and 3-0 the count. 1 out, 3-0 the count, and 2-1 your score here in the bottom of the 9th inning down at the SAU field here in Bedford. And Simmons looks back and brings a pitch, and that ball is way high again. That is 4 straight balls for Logan Simmons, and that is 4 wild pitches really for Logan in that spot.
It's always tough to come in as a reliever,
especially after that pitching performance.
And but what you have is some emotion, catches going out, talking to him, settle down. You come in with first and second, no outs, and they say, "Hey, get us out of this." Like, wait, man,
I got to do this. Wait, what? So Carter Crowley now comes up to the 9-hitter for Bedford. Comes back to the plate. He was pinch hit for in the 7th inning. Maddox came in and in a spot and was trying to win the game, and unfortunately was struck out by Will Perkowski, one of the 11 strikeout victims of Perkowski. And that pitch misses as well. So that's 5 straight balls now for Logan Simmons. Crowley steps back to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out both of those times against Perkowski. And he's up with 1 out here. Runners, bases loaded. And Crowley just looking for a pitch. Maybe he can hit. But guess what? A walk ties the game. So a walk is just as good here. And that game, could be tied again with just 2 more balls here by Simmons, who's thrown 6 straight balls since coming in relief of Will Perkowski. Simmons looks in for the pitch, and here it is, 2-0. That one is a strike. I was going to say, if that one's called a ball, I'm not sure sure where I am anymore. So
it's conceivable. All he needed is that first strike to kind of settle him down a little bit. So this is where the batter starts to get involved a little bit. He's going to make sure that he's not going after any bad pitches.
He's a good player too, for sure. And then we got to squeeze on the same play. Bedford executes it perfectly, and Simmons is going to get the out. Crowley at first, but Bowden Smith. Oh boy, there's a lot going on here. Stay there. All right. So the perfectly executed squeeze again, this time for Bedford, is tying the game. Again, execution. Carter Crowley is thrown out at first base with the sacked bunt, but the RBI sack bunt gets him.
So what I was looking at,
second out of the game, and Bowden Smith is now standing at second,
had
third.
The runaround that came over to try to whatever he was doing, he's got to stay on third. But what happened is that the first baseman got his foot stepped on.
Yeah.
And he was jumping up and down and kind of looking at the runner and going like, hey. In the meantime, he forgets you got other runners out there, buddy.
Yeah. So it was the second baseman, Jake Weber, came over to cover the bag. I couldn't tell the play. We'll be able to see that on replay. I will say last night in the Merrimack game, a Merrimack player stepped on the first baseman's foot, Connor Bergeron's foot, and there was some tense moments there too, because it's one of those things that this one didn't look like it was intentional, but it did yesterday look like it was maybe an intentional run at the first baseman.
You know why you get that reaction? It hurts.
It does hurt. It does hurt. But needless to say, Bedford has now tied the game. Runners are on second and third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth, and Dom Tagliaferro steps to the plate. And we'll see if Dom Tagliaferro has that moment in him to, any single here wins the game here for Bedford in walk-off fashion. So these are the moments.
What do we got, 2 outs?
Get ready, 2 outs. 2-2 the score, bottom of the ninth inning. Tagliaferro takes ball, 1-1 now the count. Runner on third base, Bowden Smith. He got there he walked in his at-bat. Henry Dubois at second base, he also walked. Henry Dubois, that run does not matter. The run that matters right now is Bowden Smith at third base. We have had that winning run in scoring position at third base multiple times in this game and have not been able to come up with that key hit. So hopefully this is the time. Tagliaferro comes into this at-bat 2 for 4 on the day, and looking to go 3 for 5, which would be a game-winning hit.
Good swing, good pitch. Pitcher just happened to win that one right now. He just got under it just a little bit.
And Simmons has definitely settled down since into that game. So here's that one pitch, curveball. And Braden Lambert stands right up, and Tagliaferro goes down looking. So for the second, maybe the third time, the Bedford Bulldogs have that winning run, or that go-ahead run, 90 feet away, and they strike out in that at bat. And
that was a good recovery on the part of the Goffstown pitcher.
It was.
And I wish we had a roster in front of us.
I'm going to run out of space in my scorebook here. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
I'm sorry, we did not get the Goffstown team roster, but threw 6 balls in a row.
Yep.
And then gets that first strike, and then things kind of worked the way they did. Great execution part of Bedford. I mean, it was like a mirror play from the inning before when Goffstown executed it well. Both good coaches, coach well, their players respond well. I mean, I think this is one of the best baseball games I've seen in a heck of a long time. Would you say, Andrew?
I get the honor of calling it with BCTV's own Bill Jennings.
Oh my God.
With Andrew Fenn on the camera. I mean, this is it's an honor for me to be a part of the best baseball game we've seen in a long time with you guys as the crew. I mean, on a perfect night. I mean, it is what it is. We're very, very fortunate.
Oh, go on.
Oh, go on. No, okay, that's enough. That's enough. So we head to the top of the 10th inning. inning here, and you know, the scorebooks are going to start to break. The scoreboard is going to start to break, and we're still looking for a winner in this NHIAA Division I baseball game between the Goffstown Grizzlies and the Bedford Bulldogs. Exactly what you expected from these two teams here today, competing, and neither one wants to give an inch in this situation. They are both competing for that big victory here in this game.
Yeah, it's a shame there's going to be a loser, but they both played well. But hey, this is high school baseball, so
that's right.
You know, so who cares about the loser?
So we'll see. We'll see what Goffstown can do now against still in there, Steele Lambert. He has come in and done a good job.
He has, and
he will be facing the 8-9-1 hitters for Bedford. I'm sorry, for Goffstown, assuming there is no pinch hitters, and it's hard for me to tell from this angle if there are. But looks like this is shortstop number 8, Trevor Poisson. He is 0 for 3 on the day, and he takes a first pitch ball here in the top of the 10th inning, which is a 0 on the scoreboard, because again, the scoreboards are breaking when you go this long in the game. We see Steele Lambert now with a strike, so a 1-1 count to Poisson. Poisson 0 for 3, a strikeout, a fly out to right field, and a fly out to left field, and we'll see if he can do anything to lead off this top of the 10th inning for the Goffstown Grizzlies. 2-2 your score, and that ball is going to be low. 2-1 the count. Here, no outs. 2-2 your score, as I said, here on BCTV. Bill Jennings, Jason Bergeron on the call, Andrew Fenn on the camera, and we are very, very fortunate to be here at this game watching this one. This is a good one. That one skips in. Dubois does a good job of collecting it, but now 3-1 the count.
Yeah, you know, he seems to be aiming the ball a little bit. He's just got to let it rip.
And he did this in the last inning too, right? He walked that leadoff hitter, Ryan Strand, who ended up scoring in that inning on the squeeze play put on by Goffstown. We've seen 2 squeeze plays, successful squeeze plays in this game today.
Not even close.
Not even close, and that's going to be another ball. And Steele Lambert walks the leadoff hitter again in this inning, but we'll see if we can get out of this inning with less damage or no damage. See if that can happen. That'll bring up the 9-hitter, Jake Weber, number 2, playing second base. He was the one that had his foot stepped on as he covered the bag on the bunt. And he steps in. He is 1 for 3 on the day.
Yeah,
he turns the bunt, puts a nice bunt down.
Go to.
Steele just turns, throws it. Oh, Nolan Arnold dropped the ball at first base. Not able to collect it to get the out, so Jake Weber is going to get there on the first error of the game. We were talking about being a clean game so far, but that's going to be an error on the first baseman, Nolan Arnold, and that will move up the runner Trevor Poisson to second base. Jake Weber now stands at first base, no outs here in the top of the 10th inning. 2-2 your score, and that will bring off the pitcher of this game, the leadoff hitter Logan Simmons, back to the plate. He is 2 for 4 on the day so far. He struck out once, has a single, a double, and fly out to left field, and a check on the runner over there at first base by Steele Lambert. And Weber quickly check on the runner at first with a runner on second, so just making sure maybe a set play there, trying to get something to happen. And Simmons takes a strike, so 0-1 the count. Top of the 10th. If you're just joining us, boy, you've missed a great game so far. But if you're just joining us, stay tuned, because this is a 2-2 ball game in the top of the 10th inning. Great baseball being played by 2 very, very good NHIAA Division I teams, and this Goffstown Grizzlies and Bedford Bulldogs teams have put on a show today for all those fans that have come down to the game or tuned in here on BCTV with us.
It's been a superb game with great field execution. Yes, we just saw an error, but that happens. Great mechanics.
And Steele Lambert comes back with a big strikeout there of Logan Simmons, and he's not an easy guy to strike out, and he gets the strikeout.
And that's huge. And I meant to say it to follow up with great pitching. So here's perfect examples. You got to try to keep those runners off the base. You got to avoid walking, and of course, certainly unfortunate.
So Braden Lambert, any errors, any fielding is key for sure. So Braden Lambert now steps to the plate for Goffstown. He is seeing his 5th at-bat of the day. He is
relation?
2 for 4 to Lambert. To
pitcher to the...
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't know that for sure, but I don't think so. So... 2-0 the count now to Braden Lambert. Braden Lambert, again, 2 for 4 on the day, has a single, a double, a strikeout, and a fly out to right field. One of the, I think, 6 putouts by Bowden Smith out in right field. So great game by him there. But 2-0 pitch here to Lambert, and that one bounces in, and Henry Dubois does a good job of blocking it and keeping the runners in place. Runners on first and second here for Goffstown. 1 out, top of the 10th inning, 2-2 your score.
Yeah, so you just don't want to fill these bases right now.
You just don't want to, definitely don't want to fill them, because I'm gathering to be a squeeze
the
play.
obvious, man.
I think
it's easy to say.
I think they're, if we see a third squeeze play in the same game, that would be something else. We'd have to go back to Lauren Fox to see if that's ever happened. That ball is going to skip in and got to cover home now, because that ball has gotten away from Dubois, goes all the way back to the fence. Lambert standing on home, and it'll just be a walk, but a 4-pitch walk to Lambert. That's going to bring up the 2 big hitters for Goffstown, Ryan Strand first, and then Will Perkowski, if he is not, it does not ground into a double play, of course.
Right, and there's, again, still nobody warming up, so Coach Chapman's going to stay with what he has out on the mound right now.
Yeah, no action in the bullpen right now. Base is now loaded, 1 out, top of the 10th inning, 2-2 your score. Now Chapman is going to call timeout.
Okay.
Going to settle his troops just like he did the last inning, right? Going to have to make sure we got the right plays in, maybe a little bit of squeeze coverage work here, because we've seen 2 squeezes successful, 1 for each team. Yeah. And Lauren Fox walking behind us, and as we get this break, I'm going to ask him a question. I'm going to just ask him, have we ever seen 3 successful squeeze plays in any baseball game, same game? Is that a stat that you know?
No, not that. Crowley's was nice.
It was beautiful. It was very nice. So sorry to interrupt. I know you're in the middle of the game going somewhere, but I just wanted to say, that's something that was very rare.
That's been the way the game's been, though. You have 2 teams that really find a manufacturer, because you have 2 starters that shoved, both guys threw 7 innings. Cariello threw roughly, I think threw like 105, 106, and Perkowski threw over 110.
Yeah.
So is he bringing in Aiden O'Connell right now?
No, heck no.
Okay. Who was that?
I believe Nolan Arnold, I believe, is going to third.
Okay.
He's going to first base.
Nolan Arnold looks like he's going to the mound.
First hand.
I believe Hinden's pitching.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Hey, we get a first hand from the coach.
Luxury to have the coach standing right here in the booth.
You may not be able to hear him, but he's feeding us information.
Hopefully we can hear us. I'll try to put the mic a little closer to him.
No, we got Nolan pitching.
Nolan's coming in to pitch. Okay. So Nolan was playing first base. Looks like there's some more moves being had, but well, thank you for stopping in.
Coach.
Thank you, Coach, for stopping in. We appreciate that. Always fun to have the coach come in, especially in a game of this magnitude, in this type of moment. There's a lot happening on the field right now with just kind of player changes and Coach Chapman making the moves that he wants to make. This is now a chess match when you start moving players around and trying to get your players in the right positions to make that big play here to try to salvage, any no-run scoring is the goal here, but we'll see what Bedford can come up with. What we're seeing so far on the field is, for sure, Nolan Arnold, who was just at first base, is now on the mound and going to be warming up. Henry Dubois will remain a catcher. Looks like Patrick Fullis has made his way from second base over to third base. A little bit longer throw for a player that pitched a big game yesterday in Merrimack, so that arm is definitely sore today, but he'll be able to make those plays if called upon. Looks like Carter Crowley will stay at shortstop. Looks like Jake Oster has now entered the game at second base, and Steele Lambert will make the move from the mound back over to first base, and the outfield will likely stay intact. So that is the update here from field level. Nolan Arnold continues to warm up and prepare for this big moment. I mean, a 1-out situation. He's coming into a bases loaded 1-out situation in a game that has just been special to watch and special to call.
It has been. And the way this game is going, I still don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah, no, we have no idea. Either way, I mean, Bedford's got their ups coming up. So as soon as they get out of this inning, no matter what happens next, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters are coming up for Bedford, and that is going to be Aiden O'Connell, Nolan Arnold, and Danny Black. So
couldn't ask for a better line.
You can't ask for a better spot coming up in the bottom of the 10th inning. But first and foremost, we got to get through the top of the 10th inning here. And right now, Goffstown is threatening with the bases loaded, and Nolan Arnold coming in here, 1 out just in the inning so far. That on the strikeout of Logan Simmons by Steele Lambert, and then he subsequently walked Braden Lambert on 4 straight pitches, and that is what led to Coach Chapman making the call to the bullpen.
Yeah, so you got 1 out and bases loaded. You certainly don't want to gift them a walk. get them a run with a walk, and it's easy for me to notice how it's easy.
It's easy.
To state the obvious.
So
you don't want to walk them because that. Come on.
Nolan Arnold comes in so far. He's only pitched 1 2/3 innings so far this year. He had one game. He faced 9 batters in that game. He gave up 1 hit, had 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and batters only hitting 143. But he did give up a run in that game, and that led to a 4.2 ERA. But again, very, very small stats in terms of the number of attempts that he's had out there. And I know he brings a lot of velocity, so this is going to be fun to see what he can do in this moment. And here is that pitch. And that one bounces in, and that one's going to get by Henry Dubois. That bounced well before the plate, and that's going to unfortunately score Trevor Poisson from third base. Move the runners up to second and third, and that is going to give Goffstown the 3-2 lead. Nolan Arnold just kind of spiked that pitch in front of the plate. That's just a wild pitch.
I was watching his warm-ups, and he was constantly low.
Yeah.
It didn't get anything by the catcher in his warm-ups, but then you had the adrenaline.
Yep.
And
it's a big moment.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's a big moment. He's a senior. That one skips in too. That one's just low as well. So 2-0 the count here to Ryan Strand, the Goffstown hitter. 1 out here in the top of the 10th inning. Goffstown just took the 3-2 lead, and Nolan Arnold just trying to find the zone right now. And that one is drilled by Ryan Strand out to center field. Tagliaferro back and over his head. That one hops the fence. Ryan Strand has just opened up this game with a double, a 2-run double, and that puts Goffstown up 5-2. That big hit, that big moment that we've been talking about just happened for the Goffstown Grizzlies.
Yeah, and that's the difference right now between Bedford's opportunities in Goffstown, and Bedford's into their 3rd pitching change, and Goffstown took advantage of it.
Yeah, Goffstown just took advantage of that with a big swing there by Ryan Strand. Again, Ryan Strand had a tough day coming in. He had struck out 3 times, walked his last at bat. But I know he's a good hitter. I've seen him play for years and years, and it was just a matter of time before he had a moment there, and he did. Perkowski has just been intentionally walked.
Which is probably a very wise move.
Yeah, it's a wise move in this moment, and he's not happy about it. He wanted his cuts. He wanted to drive in the run. He threw his bat in anger that he was just intentionally walked, but I mean, it's a sign of respect, right? When you get intentionally walked in any level, it's absolutely a sign of respect and a sign of gamesmanship, and that Perkowski now takes first base on the intentional walk, and now it's 1 out, first and second, bringing up Noah Durham to the plate. And that one bounces in front of the plate, gets by Dubois. Another wild pitch by Nolan Arnold. That's going to move the runners up for Goffstown. Ryan Strand to third and Perkowski to second on that wild pitch. And, we talked about this. There's a lot of baseball in a short period of time here. And as the pitchers and situations kind of progress.
Here comes Billy again.
Yeah, Coach Chapman coming out to talk to Nolan Arnold now, and just an unfortunate turn here in this game. A really well pitched baseball game by both teams, and you're getting into the 10th inning here of a game, and now Goffstown has opened it up, and the wind is out of the sails. You can feel it here. The energy around the field has just diminished quite a bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can feel me.
Yeah, we'll see. So Nolan Arnold is now going to be, he's going to be relieved. Nolan Arnold's going to move to third base. Looks like I'm gathering third base now. Steele Lambert will stay at first. Carter Crowley, the shortstop, who's played a great game over at shortstop, is coming in to pitch, and we'll have another pitching change here in the top of the 10th inning, 1 out.
So if you take a look at the third, now the 4th pitcher, what you had with the 3rd pitcher coming in, he was coming out of a position and only had the authorized number of pitchers from the mound. Didn't have the opportunity to really loosen up in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And that's always tough. You can be in the field and you can be given your 8 pitches,
right,
or whatever the number might be, but it's not the same as if you're warming up in the bullpen.
Right.
And a little bit of a Technical glitch.
Look, we talked about this.
Thank goodness it was between pitches.
This game is scheduled for 7 innings.
Yep.
And here we are in the 10th inning. We talked about the scorebook breaking. We talked about the scoreboard breaking.
How about me breaking?
I mean, I don't want you to break, Bill. I definitely don't want you to break. But the camera just broke. So, I mean, the camera just needed a reset there. And
it got tired.
It did. It gets tired.
It got overheated.
You didn't miss anything, though, if it did go out for a second there. You didn't miss any action. Carter Crowley now warming up for the Bedford Bulldogs. Goffstown has now put up 3 runs in the top of the 10th inning here. And we have one out here. And Carter Crowley will now take the mound. And, again, this game is not over. It's going to be a monumental task now to come back from a 3-run deficit.
Absolutely. You got to control. You got to take care of business right now.
Got to get out of the inning.
3-run lead. But you remember I said it was at the top of the 5th and we hadn't even hit an hour?
Yeah.
And now we're going on 3 hours. It's actually 7:08. Game started at 4:30. So.
And this is not a pitch clock situation in any way. This is just baseball being played at the 10th inning at the highest level, and we're getting extra baseball.
Yep.
So Carter Crowley throws his first pitch. The count was 1-0. He took over a 1-0 count to Noah Durham, and now it's a 2-0 count. His first pitch is a ball, and 2-0 to Noah Durham. Runners on second and third are Perkowski and Strand, and that ball is fouled off. It looked like an awkward type of foul, but fouled either way. And 2-1 the count now to Durham. We'll see if Carter Crowley, this is his first.
Crowley's got some heat.
Yeah, he's got some heat. He's got a good arm. He plays shortstop.
He's got accuracy.
Yeah, he plays shortstop. He's got a good arm. This is his first mound work this season so far. Yeah, he hasn't seen the mound, at least on the stats that I have. So
he looks comfortable out there.
I don't recall seeing him on the mound this year, but he definitely looks comfortable, and it's not his first time on the mound ever. It's just his first time on the mound for this team this year. So, but he finishes off the walk. So Nolan Arnold had thrown one pitch ball and then was pulled from the game. He's not taking any chances. That being Carter Crowley throws 2 balls in that situation. Now loads the bases again for Goffstown, and that brings Ryan Dutton to the plate. Ryan Dutton 0 for 2 today. Strikeout, a fly out. He has a walk and a sacrifice in the game, and he'll see Carter Crowley. Carter pushes that ball outside, so another ball. So again, Bedford pitching is just unfortunately not able to find the strike zone all of a sudden after some superior pitching by Charlie Cariello and a good job in relief by Steele Lambert. We haven't been able to close this one out, and now 2-0 the count to Ryan Dutton, and you can't help but think the wheels have fallen off a little bit for this Bedford team.
And as I'm looking at it, so Bedford's got a good 1 and a good 2, and then you go down.
There's a 3. There you got Aiden O'Connell, you got Patrick Fullis, and you got Charlie Cariello, who have really carried the starting role.
Who pitched last night? They can't come in.
Patrick Fullis. He's now played second base, shortstop, and third base tonight. Okay. So he's been moving around the infield all day. And Carter Crowley brings the 3-0 pitch in for a strike. Dutton taken all the way there with the bases loaded. Why not?
Yep.
And now he's sitting on a 3-1 pitch, and Carter's got to bring it over the plate again. So he's going to be sitting on a fastball and trying to drive one, and he does, and he doesn't swing at it, which is interesting to me. That's the pitch you're going to swing at as a hitter. But 3-1 now, or 3-2 now. The count, 1 out, and we'll see.
Happy if he continues not to swing, and that ball's getting over the plate like that. Obviously,
he's still got to bring it. So 3-2, and he does. He fouls it off. So we'll see another payoff pitch here. And again, if you have just joining us, we're here in the top of the 10th inning. 5-2 your score. The Grizzlies over the Bulldogs, and it was a 2-2 game heading into this inning. But Goffstown has scored 3 runs here in this inning and has opened the game up. And that pitch is fouled off again. Another good at bat by Ryan Dutton.
Absolutely.
So
he's got a nice swing.
He does, yeah. Now, this whole lineup has good swings. I mean, both teams have really worked today, and Bedford turns around after this game that gets a night's rest, and they'll head to Maine tomorrow to play against Bangor, Maine, in a non-division game.
I think probably what he's doing is just staying with heat.
Yeah, he's just
what he's comfortable
putting it over.
Yeah, it's just what he's
just put it over the plate and let your defense make a play right now.
Great. Wait a minute. This is my first time on the mound. You want me to try to hit a breaking ball? Come on.
Right. Just let me throw a strike here, please. So that ball is skipped in, and that's going to be a walk issued to Ryan Dutton, and an RBI walk at that. That will score Strand from first base, and from third base, and that will be the 4th run of the inning here for the Goffstown Grizzlies. And Coach Chapman is coming back out to the mound now.
People might look at this final score and won't realize what a great game it has been.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate it's ending like this. Well, again, Bedford's got their ups coming. They still got their at-bats to work with, but scoring 4 runs in the game. And Carter Crowley's going to get the quick hook there after that walk. I think Coach Chapman is just trying to salvage arms at this point, because, again, you can, I think, pitch 20 pitches without having to go, without able to be a pitch tomorrow, I think is the rule.
So, all right. So Crowley's going tomorrow?
So he might throw tomorrow. I think he's just trying to salvage arms at this point, knowing this is going to be the third game in 3 days. So.
All right, I'm just going to talk about some of the upcoming games for the Bedford High School Bulldogs. On Monday, May 8th, the boys lacrosse team will be playing the Salem Blue Devils at 5:30 p.m. at Bulldog Stadium. BCTV will be covering that game on channels 23, 1072, streaming on your mobile apps, streaming on bedfordtv.com, Bedford Community YouTube channel, and baseball on Wednesday, May 17th. Jason Bergeron is back versus the Wyndham Jaguars, 4:15 p.m. Softball Thursday, May 18th, Manchester Central Memorial, 4 p.m. And girls lacrosse. Essentially, the New Hampshire undefeated girls lacrosse team. They did lose to Lincoln Sudbury 10-9 last week, but they will be playing another Massachusetts team, Newburyport, who I believe is also undefeated in Massachusetts, in Bulldog Stadium at 6:30 p.m. We will be carrying that game on channels 23, 1072, and streaming around the world. So tune in and catch all the live action for Bedford High School lacrosse, softball, and baseball.
Just sitting here in the top of the 10th inning, where it's just one of those games. This has been a phenomenal game, and I have to say, again, if you're just tuning in, just really appreciate the luxury that it is to have this BCTV and WBNH radio broadcast group, TV and radio broadcast group on our side here in Bedford. It's amazing the work that they do and the commitment that they have to bringing and delivering these sporting events and other events across the town to everybody, both locally and internationally, as we now know. So thank you to that. So Bowden Smith, your new pitcher now, the right fielder who's played a phenomenal game now, has come in. Billy Chapman, Coach Chapman for Bedford, continuing to look for somebody to just get an out here in the top of the 10th inning. The score 5-2 or 6-2 now. Grizzlies over the Bulldogs, and Bowden Smith delivering his first pitches to batter Dylan Gaudet. Gaudet is going to lift this one to the second base area. Patrick Foulis, who goes way out into right field. Jake Oster now in right field. We'll try to go over all the changes that are going on, but that is going to be a pop out for Dylan Gaudet, and he has gone 0 for 5 in this game today. But Patrick Foulis is now in this inning maybe, or at least in the last 2 innings, have moved from second base to third base to shortstop back to second base. That's how many changes have happened. Can I say that again? I'm not even sure I can say that again. So coming down, there is a pinch hitter here for Goffstown. So of course they're going to throw a curveball at us, no pun intended. But the batter now for Goffstown will be number 5, James Baggs. His first at bat. He's going to be pinch hitting for Trevor Poisson, the shortstop. And there's 2 outs here in the game. They've officially broken my book multiple times here. So top of the 10th inning. This is the second time the 8th hitter of the Goffstown lineup has stepped to the plate, and he is quickly down 0-2. And James Baggs, well, I recall him being a catcher back in Little League days, and he could certainly still be that. He's getting a pinch hit opportunity here in this game right now. In the top of the 10th inning, he's down 0-2. The score 6-2. Grizzlies have scored 4 runs here in the top of the 10th inning to open this game up. But otherwise, a spectacular game by 2 really strong teams here. And is just outside, so 1-2 the count. Bowden Smith now doing the work on the mound. Going around the outfield, looks like Jake Oster moved from second base out to right field. Tagliaferro and Danny Black still in center field and left field respectively. And Nolan Arnold at third. Carter Crowley back to shortstop. Baggs hits one hard and into the hole. And that's going to be another run scored for Goffstown. Baggs just takes that outside pitch and pushes it hard to the left side, and a good piece of hitting there for Baggs.
Definitely good piece of hitting. He's got 2 strikes on him, and just punch it to the opposite field.
Yeah, so again, another run scored. That scored Perkowski from third. and moved Durham over to third base, Dutton over to second, and that brings back up number 2, Jake Weber, second baseman. He sees a strike from Bowden Smith. Again, just 7-2 the score now. 5 runs here scored in the inning for Goffstown, and just a deflating moment here for this Bedford team after such a great game played by 2 players. That ball's lined right at Foulis, and that is going to finally end that inning for Bedford. The line out to Patrick Foulis ends it, but not before damage done there for Goffstown Grizzlies. They came up in the top of the 10th inning, and they scored 5 runs. And
how many walks?
1, 2 walks.
I thought there were more than that.
Couple errors.
Yeah. Okay.
Couple hits, and it just the things unraveled. There was wild pitches, and I think that's what kind of it looked like walks, but it was really wild pitches that was the ultimate culprit there. And needless to say, now 7-2 your score here at the SAU field. The sun is setting. I mean, a beautiful day. It's actually, you're starting to get the cold, brisk weather back. You can start to feel it a little bit.
Yeah, remember I told you
as that
you
sun goes down.
The end of the game.
Dress for the end of the game for sure. That's the note. But so 7-2 your score.
Short sleeve jersey.
7-2. Your 7-2 your score. Bedford will bring up their 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this game, assuming there's no pinch hit moments here, which I don't know what Coach Chapman's going to plan to do. Again, this Bulldog team takes to the road tomorrow. They head to Maine to play the Bangor, Maine team, Coach Chapman's old stomping grounds, as he was coming up through.
He's a Maine boy.
He's a Maine boy, and they go up there and play every year. It's kind of become something that this team does. And I remember last year,
team building,
long bus ride. It's not. They don't play in Bangor. They play in Sanford, Maine. So it's middle ground for both of these teams. I looked it up as a dad. I looked it up and said, well, it's about an hour and a half tomorrow. I'll be in the car one way, 3 hours through 2 ways.
Yeah,
but,
good luck.
I'll be making that trek tomorrow. Hopefully Connor is feeling better and able to play tomorrow.
Just a single game. I mean, Bangor's coming all the way down.
Bangor comes all the way down. I think it's about an hour and a half for them to come down to Sanford, and then an hour and a half up for us, or out and up, I should say. And that's that. So we'll see what they can do. But then after that, they come back and they got Manchester Central West and Timberlane on the heels of that. So next week's gonna be great weather-wise too, according to the weather.
Well,
so
that's what we've all been waiting for.
So bottom of the 10th inning, 7-2 the score now. Logan Simmons on the mound for Goffstown, facing off against Aiden O'Connell. Aiden has gone 0 for 3 in this game. He got hit by a pitch in his last at bat, and he came into the game hitting .531. So Coach Fox got to look out for that one. He didn't get nervous at all about that, but that was well hit and stung.
Yeah, he got out in front of that one a little bit as he took some speed off that pitch. Not that he's an overpowering pitcher, but he's an accurate pitcher. No, he's really kind of gained his composure.
Yeah, he has, and that ball is outside. 1-2 the count now, but he's a player that I remember at 10, 11 years old. He was hitting balls out of Goffstown and Bedford with ease as a left-handed hitter. So fun to watch. I always remember that name, and he was always a really strong pitcher for those teams too. So 2-2 the count now to Aiden O'Connell here. Bottom of the 10th inning, if you're just joining us. It was a 2-2 game, now a 7-2 game after the 10th inning, but that ball gets by the catcher Lambert, and now 3-2. So it was one of those classics, all of the instant classics, so to say, and unfortunately Goffstown opened it up and kind of removed the classic status. But if you watch the first 8-9 innings of this game, it was a classic.
And
that's
you
for
can.
Sure. And you
Available
24/7
on BCTV, video on demand.
I love it. Aiden O'Connell fouls that pitch back. Good
and
bat here
on the Bedford Community TV YouTube channel. Subscribe. Do you know we have over 1,000 subscribers now?
You know what? That number seems light to me. I feel like with the content you provide and all of the ability for people to watch from around the country, I feel like more people need to know about it, and more people need to go sign up and hit that subscribe button. So Aiden O'Connell draws the walk there, so it's a leadoff walk, and we've always said these are dangerous moments. Look, Goffstown came up, scored 5 runs. It doesn't mean Bedford can't come up and do the exact same thing. And quite honestly, we've seen almost a punch for punch, so to say, game
Exactly.
here. There was a squeeze on one side, we get a squeeze run.
And by the way, the same way.
Exactly. We did everything the same. It's almost like textbook. So
we said these two teams were close. They're like distant cousins.
Yeah. Nolan Arnold now steps to the plate. So Aiden O'Connell draws the walk. Nolan Arnold now steps to the plate, and that hits him. And here we go.
And we're off.
So Nolan Arnold gets hit by the curveball that just spikes on Logan Simmons, and Arnold takes first base, and he'll take that, no problem. He was 1 for 4 coming into that at bat, and now still remains 1 for 4 with the hit by pitch. Their coach now coming out to talk to Logan Simmons after walking. I wonder if it's on the I took a picture of the roster, but the head coach area is left blank, so don't know. So that
can't monitor our YouTube channel because we don't have the computer out here. So I guess we don't know if anybody's making any comments. If somebody from Goffstown is listening, if you could just go to the Every Community TV YouTube channel, we're live streaming, make a comment, straighten us out.
That was one of my favorite things during the hockey games, was able to see the YouTube stream and actually see all the fans popping in and out and watching the games, and you can see where they're from, and based on IP address, you can tell roughly where geographically people are located. That was really fun to watch, and I remember coming home and talking to my son about it and saying, we had like 300 people at one point watching this game, and they were all over the world. I know it was a neat moment. So
it's cool.
So that meeting on the mound is now concluded here, and Danny Black steps to the plate and takes a first pitch, and he
wasn't happy about that call.
He ducked way out of the way of that, or pulled out of the way of that, and it was called a strike. So just not picking up the ball here as the shadows kind of now set in on the entire SAU field. Logan Simmons dealing to Danny Black, and that one's on the inside edge too, and he's just picking away at the inside edge of the plate. I do see a Goffstown pitcher running out to warm up now, out in left field. Again, just maybe getting prepared. You never know kind of how these games continue to progress, but 7-2 your score here, bottom of the 10th inning, and Logan Simmons dealing to Danny Black with runners on first and second and nobody out. And Danny Black fights that pitch off.
He wasn't going to let that one go by.
No, Danny's an athlete, competitor.
The official's calling it, so he's going to be more protective of the plate.
Yeah, for sure. So that pitch fouled off, 0-2, no outs here, bottom of the 10th inning. Nolan Arnold on first base and Aiden O'Connell on second.
I didn't mean to talk over you.
Yeah, no worries.
I think he's going to continue with heat.
Oh yeah, just bring it over the plate and just let him hit it. I'm sure that Black is just going to continue taking big hacks, and he's trying to. You're not going to tie this game with one swing, but Danny Black has the power to get that ball at least close to that fence, if not over the fence, and while it wouldn't tie the game, it would certainly make it more interesting, that's for sure.
Sun is setting.
Sun is setting.
Taking the sunglasses off.
Not only do you dress, you have to prepare all the other gear too. Sunglasses to regular glasses. So, and there's the pitch. Danny Black fouls another one off. This is what they call a quality at bat. I call it out every time I see it. Quab is what this is, and Braden Lambert, now the catcher, coming out and giving a little advice, maybe telling Logan Simmons, come back inside, because the first two pitches Danny didn't swing at and they were on the inside edge. So we'll see what happens, but no outs here.
I like the way you get into that conversation.
Yeah, just you never know.
You're amazing me.
Yeah, you never know.
Hey, come inside.
I don't,
Can you read lips?
I don't know what they're saying. I'm just guessing.
That's exactly what they said.